Liberty Center, Tigers hit the field. Orange and black, the power to wield. Claws out, fangs sharp, hearts full of pride. On this gridiron, we ain't trying to hide. Quarterback's got an arm like a cannon. Linebacker strike, you don't know what happened. Running back cuts, defenders in the rear. Fans in the stands roar loud and clear. Hit Liberty, run that score high. Orange and black make them wonder why. Hit Liberty, show them what we got. Tigers on the prowl, we can't be stopped. Coach got the plays, got the strategy. Defense like a wall, pure energy. Special teams turning the tide fast. Every single play makes the moment last. Cheerleaders hype, crowd in a frenzy. Marching band plays, beats dropping heavy. Sidelines electric, can't fake that zeal. Tigers on the hunt, it's all so real. Hit Liberty, run that score high. Orange and black make them wonder why. Hit Liberty, show them what we got. Tigers on the prowl, we can't be stopped.
Welcome to week 15 of On the 50 with Coach Casey Moeller. Good morning, Coach.
Good morning.
Busy week, I'm sure, right?
Yeah, it's holiday week and a big game, so it makes for a busy week.
Well, and the big now you get to practice on Thanksgiving, isn't that?
That's always the goal.
The goal here. So last week's game, Genoa, all the way down in Fostoria, great facility, by the way. Did a great job. I know locker rooms, press boxes. They really laid it out. But Genoa came to Fostoria thinking, okay, this was going to be a game. We've averaged, 135 yards rushing and 160 yards passing. Liberty's defense just decided it was not going to be a game.
Yeah, I thought our defense was the story of the game. Right from the get-go, we came out and kind of established what we wanted to do defensively and shut them out and kind of had them reeling from the get-go and made things difficult for them, and that was really the story of the game.
Yeah, averaging 180 yards rushing a game. Had some very talented rushers, very talented receivers. They end up with 53 yards rushing in the first half, and I think when we looked at the game, they really didn't know what to do. And then the Jackson. Can't think of it. I just lost his name. Their good receiver, number 11, which is all conference, all league, all district. He just disappeared, and I think that's a credit to both coaching and scheming, and then the play of our defensive backs.
Yeah, well, it was kind of a whole group effort with that. I thought we got really good pressure on the quarterback and made him uncomfortable, and we really kind of put the lid on the receiver. We didn't allow him to get deep on us. And at times we had guys underneath kind of double covering him. So we were able to kind of take him out of his game and force them to go to option 2 or 3, which they weren't super comfortable with, and then add on the pressure to the quarterback, and it made for, a good defensive game for us.
Yeah, and we watch film of him. He's used to kind of rolling out one way and throwing back the other way, but the defensive pressure just basically took that away. He was essentially running for his life and a lot of plays.
Yeah, and a lot of that pressure up the middle got him off his spot, made him uncomfortable. And like I said, the DBs did a nice job. A lot of times they were able to throw the ball up in the air throughout the season and let their receiver go make a play, and we just didn't let that happen, which is why we were successful in the game.
Yeah, and we can talk about almost any player at any time on that defensive side of the ball, offensive also. But Max Walker ends up with 10 tackles. Just the linebackers just did not let anything happen underneath. But let's talk a little bit about the play of Deegan Schwagert. That was just fun to watch.
Well, Deegan had a great game. He was filling in for Logan, who's banged up a little bit. But, Deegan had been off, with his own injury for a while, came back and has just been really, really hungry. And wanted to do the best he could for the team, and just played extremely hard, and really overwhelmed their center. He was hitting gaps and just being relentless. And when you play hard, you're going to give yourself a chance to be really successful. And Deegan plays really hard. He's getting better fundamentally, and just had a great game for us.
Yeah, and when you go through statistics, you talk about tackles for loss, check. filling gaps in the line, check. Recovered fumble, check. I mean, just we were talking about the slasher movies in the press box about how he just was taking everybody down, taking everybody out, and just slashing his way through the line of scrimmage.
Yeah, he's a senior, and I think with all of these seniors, they understand, the end is near here pretty soon, and so they want to make the most of the opportunities they have, and I think Deegan was a great example of that Friday, just wreaking havoc on their offense all night, whether it be the run game or the pass game. Throw special teams in there, and he just played a whale of a game.
Yeah, checked all the boxes. Flip a little bit to the offensive side. I think this is one of the games that I have seen where both sides of the ball, we were just totally dominant on the line of scrimmage. I think our guards pulled multiple times when you saw a running play or a dive. You saw guards downfield, tackles downfield. Jackson Lonzak, will get to him in his game. He had a stellar game. But 5, 6, 7, 8 yards downfield, Kellen Weimer got flagged for essentially chucking a defensive back about 6 yards, but they were engaged. I think it was just kind of like, the big guy threw the little guy. We got to throw a flag.
Yeah, there were definitely a little bit of that. But, our offensive line did a great job. We really, when you go back and look at it, didn't start out real great. We fumbled 3 of our first 6 snaps. And we didn't have any big, long runs, but at the same time, I think in the first half, we ran like maybe 20 plays, something like that. Half of them were passes and half of them were runs. So we moved the ball on the ground. We shot ourselves in the foot with a couple of fumbles that put us behind the sticks and things like that, but our pass game was really good.
Yeah, I think one of the statistics I read is Genoa had the ball for 15 minutes and we had it for 8
in
the first half. So it was a big thing. The other thing I think can't go unrecognized here if you go back, when you can go back and look at the video, is the blocking of our backs. That was one of the things that stood out to me. Our backs were just, Thomas hits that line of scrimmage so hard. And, they got to the point where when he ran into the line of scrimmage, they had somebody on them. And just his blocking when he didn't have the ball was absolutely phenomenal. Of course, Gary Cruz. And then you really can't forget about Baxter Barrett. I mean, he's, Thomas gets a lot of press, Gary gets a lot of press, but Baxter Barrett's just been solid through the last few games at least.
Yeah, he's really kind of turned it up here in the playoffs a little bit and elevated his game. But with the running back group really works hard on blocking. I mean, that's one of the things every day in practice, every week, we're working on different blocks, whether we're kicking out, whether we're coming down on a gap block, whether we're going to linebacker, whatever it may be, those guys are working really hard, and it's an intentional, we got to be really good because we know, as you move on in the tournament, you're going to get better and better players, and we've got to be able to block out in space. We got to be able to block at the line of scrimmage. So it's something all of them have worked extremely hard on.
Yeah. And then let's get to Jackson Lonzak. And I do want to talk about Caden Kreinbrink because I think Caden had one of those very, very good, quiet games. But Jackson Lonzak, what a game he had defensively. And I think that set the tone really quick. On play number 3, he picks off and goes 52 yards with this pick 6 interception.
Yeah, when you're in a game like that, you're a championship game, and you get a defensive score that early with a really good play like that, it really sets the tone, and it puts the other team on their heels quite a bit, puts a little doubt in their head. That's a team that hadn't been there for a number of years, and we've kind of been there. And I think when you can take their confidence away a little bit like that early, it only helps you. But that was a huge play, set the tone. You get a quick score like that, and you're getting the ball coming out of half. So it's almost like you got the ball first both halves in that situation. But Jackson, I don't even know if it's quietly having a fantastic year because he's had some big games. But he's an exceptional athlete, smart kid, and can do so many things for us on the field.
Yeah, and his defensive coverage was great. Let's talk a little bit about his offensive production. Just everywhere you needed him to be. I know he the weather. We had some people go, whoa, if it wasn't rain, but it was raining for both teams, and the weather was inclement. But Caden Kreinbrink ended up 8 of 11 for 150, 145 yards. So Jackson Lonzak was a big part of that. That not only the catches that he made, but the yards after catch, the yak.
Yeah, he's a tough matchup for a lot of teams because of his skill set. He's a big, strong kid. He's over 200 pounds.
He's jacked.
He's strong as an ox,
Yeah.
and he's fast. So you're going to put a DB on him. Most DBs aren't going to match up with his strength and power. You want to put a linebacker on, most of them aren't going to match his speed. So he's just got a rare combination, and we try to get him involved as much as we can because he's such a weapon. He just had a phenomenal game. Caden was 8 of 11, and one of those incompletions was a drop that Jackson had on the first play. But the ball's slick, and he's kind of trying to get upfield. But that was a case where we wanted to get the ball to him out there in space because of the matchup. The DB that was on him was about 5'6" and 150
it was wide
pounds
open behind him.
And we feel like if we can get him the ball with a head of steam going, he's going to be tough to bring down, and you're going to get positive yards. So, Caden played really well, put the ball exactly where we needed it, and Jackson was the recipient of that. Had some great catches, and then the running after the catching was just out of this world, because of his strength and speed and his athleticism.
Yeah, and I love the reaction, and Jackson dropped that first pass. He just went over and just said, I don't need coach. I know I won't do it again. I just give me the ball.
Yeah, a lot of times when a receiver drops a pass, and coach a lot of times is like, catch the ball. Well, no kidding.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to do.
The guy knows he dropped the ball, and a lot of times they know why. If it's I'm turning my head up to get upfield or something like that or whatever. So, but he bounced back from that, and that just shows he's pretty mentally tough.
Yeah, and I think the combination of run-pass plays, I think, was a great job by the coaching staff. Gary Cruz out in the flat, as well as Jackson Lonzak, is another beast that just, he'll outrun the linebackers. And I know I saw on a couple of the plays towards the end some good business decisions by some defensive backs of just going, he's in the corner. Coach, I'm going to dive.
Right.
But I'm not going to let Gary run me over.
Well, I would say Jackson and Garrison are very much the same type of threat when you get them in the secondary. Their size and their speed and their power combination is a lot for a lot of DBs. So if we can get the ball to those guys out in space, good things usually happen. And we're getting Gary involved in the pass game, is been pretty big the last couple of weeks because typically those are one-on-one matchups, and we like our chances with those.
Yeah, and I think one of the other things we've seen is using Gary as kind of a decoy. Of course, everybody's going to be keen on 30, and you run him out or run him across the formation. You tend to see the linebackers shift in that direction, thinking, okay, and then here comes Thomas Muller, here comes Baxter Barrett, here comes Jackson Lonzak, and then, oh, by the way, Max Walker and Deegan Schwager is going to be leading that group somewhere. So great combination, great job by the coaching staff. I do want to say one other thing. I saw Nick Miller do something I have never seen him do, which is high-five Deegan Schwager coming off. I think Nick was about as excited as Deegan for the game that Deegan Schwager had.
Well, and a lot of that credit goes to Nick and Todd Spangler, Owen Box, those guys that coach the defensive line. They're heavily invested, and when those guys have success, it's like your own kid out there having success, and there's a lot of pride there, and the coaches are very proud of their position groups, and they should be. They're coaching those guys up. We've got a lot of talented players on our team, but early in my coaching career, I was at a clinic and heard a coach say, talent only gives you a chance. And so when you've got talented players like what we do, you got to coach them up, and our assistants do a great job of that.
Yeah, and that's been kind of a staple of your tenure here is your coaching staff. I think you guys, it's really kind of a cool thing to see. You're all friends. You all get along. The majority of them are Liberty guys that have been here, long tradition. I know we've got a couple guys that are new to the staff or newer to the staff, and they bring some pretty cool perspectives in. and you guys are very a tight-knit group, and it shows. And I think the kids are tight-knit, and they see it, and people learn by example.
Yeah, well, I mean, you want your team to be, really close and play for each other and things like that. You got to have a staff like that too. If your staff is in turmoil, the kids are going to see that, and they're not going to be as tight, and they're going to start to, divide and have cracks. And I think our staff just does a great job of, being a good example for our players.
Yeah. All right, before we move on to the Indian Lake game this week, the semifinal, let's talk a little bit about special teams, because we can always talk about offense, we can always talk about defense on a lot of teams, but I love talking about Liberty Center special teams. I mean, Adam Foster, one of the gunners, just involved in everything. Somebody forgot to tell him he's 5'4". I don't know that he cares. He might know. Then, punt returns and coverage. And I think, in the opening kickoff, I think Genoa, that had been one of their staples. They were 20-plus yards on returns and kickoffs.
Well, we've really emphasized that. We talk about how important special teams are, especially when you get in the playoffs with hidden yardage and things like that. And Brian Hefflinger does a great job of scheming and getting the right guys in the right position. And, the big thing is those guys buy into it. They understand, for a lot of them, that's their opportunity to get on the field. And we tell them, look, you can stay out there as long as you do your job, but we got 67 kids on the team. If you don't do what you're supposed to, we're going to find somebody that will. We've tried to keep like a lot of our two-way guys off of special teams, but they're available, and they're two-way guys because they're really good players.
When your kicker goes offense, defense, and kick.
Yeah, and so our coverage units have really, I think, really ratcheted up, what they've been doing the last few weeks and just doing a great job. And then, our kick units, our return units have done a phenomenal job. We almost took the opening kickoff of the second half back. We got the punt return. And I think we've got maybe 6 special teams return scores, plus we block a punt for a touchdown, plus we had a safety. There's been years we haven't had one of those.
Right.
And so to get that many this year, I think, is a testament to the kids. And, you look at the success we've had, well, that's a major reason why, is because we've got guys making plays in those special teams.
Well, and we had a 43-yard field goal to end the half, which to me was kind of the dagger. Very good clock management by you and your staff to get the ball late in that second quarter, and then Max Walker boots a 43-yarder, and it probably would have been good for close to 50. It was we had his camera down at the other end, so we had the shot, but
he's capable of that if he gets it right. He's good between 40 to 50 is we're going to see if we can't get him one, but he's got that kind of a leg, and that was set up really. We fielded a punt. Or a punt where we didn't allow the ball to bounce 20 yards.
We're all up in the booth going, catch the ball!
Yeah. So, that's just a feather in our cap for the special teams to do stuff like that, and they take a tremendous amount of pride in that.
Yeah, in the emergence of Isaiah Badenhop as a returner, he scored on that reversal, and there was just a wall. I mean, I do want to talk about the great non-block by Isaac Orth, I think it was.
Yeah.
What do you call that? You have
airplane block.
Airplane block. That's like, because he, and that was such a great decision by him. I mean, I don't want to let that go. We said, that was a great. No, don't let that go. That was such a well thought out, unselfish thing in the big moment. He could have just blasted that kid and got the oohs and ahs. But very smart play.
And a 15-yard penalty.
Absolutely, and it called back.
Right.
But a great play by him.
So, starting with Isaiah, he's a tremendous athlete. That punt return almost looked like Thomas's the week before, where you start one side and then kind of reverse field. But Isaiah's got, the ability to catch the ball first and foremost. His great vision. He's very quick laterally, has good speed. And when he reversed field, he sees things so well. I think, you notice that in basketball, as
he's
a
a point guard.
he sees
I
the
love
floor. And it's very similar when you're returning punts or kicks. It's kind of the same thing. It's like a fast break where you got to see everything that's going on. He just does a great job of that. We had guys in the right position to throw some key blocks. The airplane block, kind of started out as a joke. I think Coach Ryan Miller had seen it somewhere or heard about it, and the wide receivers were doing it, and it
was no joke.
Everybody else, starts to poke a little fun at him, but then you realize, what? That's pretty smart and heads up. We've done it a couple times this year where you get the arms out and you can't call a block in the back.
Yeah.
You can't call
I'm trying to get
targeting.
Out of the way. Don't.
Your hands are out. You're just in the way. So very heads up play by Isaac Orth. And our guys get so excited when they see that and think it's funny, but what a tremendous job and how key is that in that play.
Well, and you're talking about high school seniors, big moment. I mean, that was such a mature reaction to that play and decision by him. It was phenomenal.
Well, you can talk about that with Isaac, great play, but go back and look at every special team he's on, and he's kind of like our leader of those groups. He's the first one down on kickoff. He's on the return units. Probably, our special teams, captain, so to speak. So, yeah. and he knows that's a major role for him, and he's been phenomenal all year at it.
Okay, well, let's move on to Indian Lake, which will be the state semifinal. 11-2, they come out of the Central Buckeye Conference down there. 6 teams in their league. They call it the Mad River Conference. I don't know where that came from, but that's the name. So Indian Lake's played some tough teams. They've not had an easy road to where they're at in the state semifinals. They had a big win over North Union last week, and I think it was 35-27, something like that. So a battle. So they're battle-tested. They've got some really good players. They've got a good receiving group. They've got a good running back group. Pretty well-balanced team. How do they look to you guys?
Well, just kind of what you said. They're good in every aspect. They're battle-tested. They play a good, tough schedule. They were in the regional finals last year and got beat, and that was the first time I think they had ever been in the regional finals. So they have a little bit of experience in these big games now. They got over the hump last week, so I know they're really excited about that. But like you said, they've got a good receiving group, more than one guy. They got a quarterback who's good, big, strong guy who's kind of a dual threat. They've got a running back who's pretty explosive, and they've got a line that's good. They're not throwing out like Division I linemen or anything, but as a unit, they play really well. Defensively, it's kind of the same way. They've got a good defensive line. They've got good linebackers. They don't give up a lot of big plays. So when you do that in playoffs, you give yourself a chance and you put yourself in position to be successful. And these guys have been in some tight games, and they know how to win them.
Yeah, their quarterback, you talked about him. I think it's Galladay is how you say it. So he has 6 rushing TDs, 2,200 yards passing this season. So a lot of versatility there.
Yeah, and they attack the passing game in a lot of ways. They've got a great screen game. Some quick bubbles and slip screens outside to get rid of the ball quickly, but then they can go downfield. They've got a couple receivers with good size, like 6'2", 190 pounds, which can be a matchup problem when, most DBs are 160, 170 pounds, right. Maybe 5'10", 5'11". So they've got a couple inches, a few pounds on you, and then they got the running back who can run really well, and the quarterback's capable of running. So you've got to defend from sideline to sideline and end zone to end zone because they'll take shots down the field as well.
Yeah, and they're one of the few teams that we've looked at in the playoffs or even all year. They've got a 1,000-yard rusher and a 1,000-yard receiver, and the quarterback's not far behind. So
right.
Very solid group of people. I want to talk a little bit about they've got a Southmore defensive tackle, offensive guard that's got 19 sacks total on the year. Very productive, very good. I watched a little bit of film, whatever I could find online, but very quick and very good with his hands.
Yeah, he's kind of like a Grant Smith type or the Barbara kid from Liberty Benton.
Who it
those type where they're
Barbera.
not super big, but has a great combination of size, quickness, good with his hands, and he's very relentless. You know, he's their best D lineman, and he plays hard on every snap. So he can run things down from behind. He's good at the point of attack, and he's only a sophomore.
Right.
And he might be the coach's kid. I mean, they have the same last name,
yeah,
so I'm assuming that, which means he's probably coached up pretty well at home. But he's a kid we're going to have to contend with and make sure we keep him out of our backfield for sure.
And I think, talk about coaches' kids. Obviously, you've got a son on the team, but I think many coaches' kids start out as ball boys, start out as Aaron, go get this, go get some water, water boys. And I think that just builds such a high IQ for what's going on and what they see. And I think it almost slows the game down for them because they've been around it for so long.
Yeah, I think that's a good way to put it. I think just being around it for so long, I think they get what you're doing. They understand, and they're probably a little bit ahead of the curve on day one because they've been there and they've seen it and everything else. And we've been fortunate enough, I think, on our team right now, we've got 4 or 5 kids. When you look at both Spanglers, Thomas, Connor Sonnenberg, those guys were ball boys for
Well, we saw
forever.
the picture with the Genoa kid. That was really cool. We had it on our social media where 4 of the ball boys was part of that Genoa big win in 2018, I think it was. And then the 5th kid, which everybody goes, well, what happened to the 5th kid? Oh, I'm sorry. He was only number 2 in the state in cross country this year.
Yeah, that's, we talk about, Mason, was there as a ball boy and then kind of went to another path, but you know what? It was probably a really good decision for him. I mean, he's been a phenomenal runner and had a lot of success, but it is kind of neat to see those guys. People ask, the officials when I talk to them before the game, do you have any ball boys? And I'm like, yeah, I got 1,000 of them over there.
Yeah, we just grew 27 of them during the playoffs.
That right there is why you got all those guys on the sideline, because you want them to be a part of that, and it helps develop and the love for the game and understanding what's going on, and hopefully they have the same kind of success these seniors have had.
Well, and the commitment and the love of the game in this community has just been crazy. I won't mention his name, but a guy that I know, he come home and his son, I think he's 7th grade, 6th grade maybe, going into 7th grade, going in junior high. He comes home and they couldn't find him, and he was downstairs lifting weights. Why? Because he wants to get ready for football next year. Guys, it's not even Thanksgiving yet, and he's prepping for next year's football. But that's just the love of the game this community has. And at Tiger Sports Live here, we see that, and it's just a great thing. Talk a little bit about our health. How do we look? Are we healthy? Are we?
Yeah, I mean, it's hard to say when you get to this week. You never feel as good as what you did day one.
Of course. I don't.
But, we got a couple guys banged up. Sawyer Bockelman came out of the game Friday. He's day-to-day, kind of nursing. And we don't think it's anything serious or anything like that. Logan is working his way back in. And so Amanda's done a great job of making sure we've got guys healthy and having a plan for guys who maybe have, something going on. We've limited reps on some kids just because they were dealing with maybe a soft tissue injury. And so you don't want to give them 1,000 reps in practice. You want to give them enough that they know what's going on. They stay, kind of sharp, but they're able to go on Friday. So kind of been trying to do that for the last 3 or 4 weeks. And, I think we've done a good job of that so far. For the most part, we're pretty healthy and hopefully continue to be.
Yeah, and I think 2 things with that. You always talk about taking care of your body, and I think we've done a very good job of that this year. Of course, Amanda's second to none. And I think this is now year 4 that we've been in this situation or close to this situation. And I think coaching staff understands what it takes. And yes, they are 15, 16, 17, sometimes 18-year-old kids. But this is a long season, and the way that Liberty Center plays, it's good that we're healthy as we are.
We've kind of backed off. We shaved off a little bit of time in our practices, and for that, we're at the point where we're physically, I think we know what we're doing. Tell the kids everything now is probably more mental than physical. I mean, we're not going to get a whole lot bigger right now. We're not going to get a lot faster. You know, we've been doing the same thing since, you know, June. But we talk about we want to practice till we can't get it wrong. So we got to stay sharp in that area. But, you know, I feel like we've been getting better and better each week and staying healthy, and that's the key.
All right. Well, this week, state semifinals at Lima Spartan Stadium against the Indian Lake Lakers. Coach, good luck, and we'll be there.
All right. Thank you. Happy Thanksgiving.
Thank you, too. Well, good evening, Tiger sports fans. Tonight, here from Lima Spartan Stadium, it's the state semifinals. The Lewistown Indian Lake Lakers come to Lima to take on our Liberty Center Tigers. I'm Mark the Captain Bly, and on the call tonight will be Mr. Spike Whitman, but in the pregame here, Mr. Scott Barrett and Brian Babcock. Guys, this is just it. Cold, clammy, after Thanksgiving state semifinals. You couldn't really ask for more, but I guess I can. I'm going to ask for next week.
There you go. And good to have Spike Whitman back on the call, and after missing a week for getting banged up a little bit, and Spike's
He's still pretty banged up, but we're going to take him anyway.
He's playing hurt
here in the state semifinal in Jigo. Obviously, this is the game before the game, and Liberty Center has had some success when they've gotten this deep in the playoffs, and you know, a state semifinal against, you know, a pretty good football team here in Indian Lake, the number one seed coming out of the Region 20. Nice looking program. They've been to the state playoffs 8 times. John Rapp has rebuilt this program. They were a 1-9 team just in 2022, and he's gotten this group back last year. Regional final, got beat in a tight game, and this year they broke through to get to this game. They're pretty excited that this is their first trip to the Final Four, so there's lots of enthusiasm. But before we break down Indian Lake, a quick look back to last week's performance against Genoa. And all things being said, there were a couple phenomenal plays and players last week, and we'll touch that, but the defense was stifling last week.
Yeah, well, this defense has been flying around all season long, and we talk about the levels, the defensive line, linebackers, and the secondary.
All 3 levels.
And they're playing great at all 3 levels. Is really not a weakness on this defense for Liberty Center. They have the ability to turn you over. They have the ability to pressure you. They have the ability to sack you. And then we have some explosive linebackers that you can bring some pressure and create some havoc. And when we turn you over, a lot of times that turns into instant points, and that has been happening a lot for Liberty Center defense.
Let's talk about how that happened last week. Jackson Lonzak with the early interception to set the tone, and you made the call. We joked about it, but we knew the Genoa quarterback was gonna put the ball up a little bit, and you would have liked to see him run the football more, but he wanted to sit in that pocket. He had a couple big-time targets in Liberty's front 3 without a lot of blitz pressure. You know, pushed that pocket. He got off of his spot and made some critical errors last week. Big, and Jackson Lonzak pick 6 to start that game.
Yeah, what a start on that first drive.
He snatched it too.
You're right. He went up high, got that ball. To have the vision to go on the opposite field, kind of cut it back. And we've seen when that guy gets in open spaces, there's not a lot of people that are going to catch him. He took it all the way to the house, and that was the tone setter for the defense. And you know, when you're Genoa last week and you're an OC and you're seeing the limited run game that you got, and you got a quarterback that you like running and throwing, and he gets outside and he starts to put it in harm's way. When you ask a quarterback to throw it 25, 30 times, it's inevitable to put the ball in harm's way.
Yeah, there was a fumble also. He had committed another interception to Caden Sonnenberg. I believe Sonnenberg's had a great year as a sniper, those senior snipers we outlined in the midweek podcast. But Jackson Lonzak then not only plays an elite defensive game, but then turns around and, you know, give Genoa some credit. They took Garrison Cruz a little bit out of the inside run game, but Casey Moeller dials up that short passing game. And how successful did that look with Jackson Lonzak last week?
Yeah,
wow, that was impressive.
It was a pretty thing. And, you know, when you want to defend a Liberty Center's run game, you got to bring extra bodies, whether that's 8, sometimes 9, and you have to go one-on-one. You have to pick and choose what you want to do. And when you go one-on-one with number 18 and 30 and 2 and 7 and 40, and some of these guys we have the ability to win one-on-one matchups. We have guys that can go get open in one-on-one, and that's what you saw with Jackson Lonzak and his ability to not only catch it, break tackles, and then turn it up and really use a physical stiff arm in a finish for that second touchdown that he had. Impressive play.
Almost a Garrison Cruz-esque type run. I mean,
yeah, it was.
Great hands, accurate passing by Kate Kreinbrink, and then he gears up. I mean, he's just kind of the whole package. And I know he had 440-some yards, maybe 4 or 5 TDs during the regular season into the playoffs, but that's a player you can ride. He's a primary weapon,
yes.
And we talk about that, and all of a sudden putting that guy on film with that schematic, that idea of short passing, hitting that slot inside the numbers, and he turns just easy catches into big explosive plays. Jackson is an explosive offensive player for us.
Well, and that's what it does to opposing defensive coordinators. You want to put 8 in the box, okay, we're going to split 18 out. And if we see you got one-on-one, well, we like that matchup, and we're going to take that matchup a lot. You've seen that a lot with Ethan Gray that sometimes this year on third downs, and you got a one-on-one matchup. That's a guy that can go win one-on-one. And third down, long, these are the downs where if you have guys on the outside that can go win and convert on third down in some of these big plays when you get late in the playoffs, it's so key. We haven't always had that.
Right.
Liberty Center. We got numerous weapons right now that can go win on third down.
Plays all over the field, and it was great to discover. Not that the staff and we knew Jackson was sitting there, but again, Genoa did a good job of really focusing on inside run, trap, power, dive, and they kind of squeezed us down. I mean, Baxter Barrett led, I think, the team in rushing last week on 2 basically inside handoffs on a reverse on 35 yards. So Genoa, give them credit. Defensively, they had to do what they had to do to get Garrison and Thomas Muller neutralized. They did that. But then we turned it up on the short passing and things we haven't done a lot. We do a lot of vertical passing, or we do that deep out, deep in kind of game. And Kay Kreinbrink last week then had himself a 9 for 12, buck 47, 2 touchdowns, and no turnovers. We did struggle a bit with the snap, but putting it in the air, limiting mistakes, he was very efficient last week.
Yeah, he had a great night. Looked really good throwing the football. A lot of confidence.
In the rain last week.
Rain and nasty. It was not a very, very nice night to really throw the football, and the ability to throw the short passing game. And when I say short passing game, I would consider that 20 yards and in. And when you have guys that can go and get loose like we have, it doesn't have to be down the field. You don't have to chuck it on zero routes down the sidelines and play 50-50 balls. We don't have to do that because we have players get it to them quick, get it to them in space, and let them run after the catch. That's what this Liberty Center offense has been so good at.
I've been around watching Liberty Center football since the late 70s. Love the 80 team. They had great weapons. I thought our teams in the late 80s had some big-time weapons. Jeff Jurasik, Rob Sexton, one of the state top sprinters, Shannon Weimer. We get through your generation. The 90s had great teams.
Yeah.
Rex went on a lot 11-year run, and you could point to 3. Always a fullback offensive line type deal. You've got explosive weapons on offense for Liberty Center, and I don't remember a time that you could point to 6 guys on offense that can create touchdowns off of a touch. Like
well, no, you're right. It's an embarrassment of riches.
Your brother
from
Jeremy's
the
talking
skilled
about that
positions.
Of riches. That's awesome.
It is. I mean, you look around, and when you're a defensive coordinator watching film on Liberty Center, you mentioned kind of getting the Lonzak play on film. You start to point to numbers. You say, all right, what am I gonna do? I got 30. You got 3. You got 40. But then you go outside with Ethan Gray and Badenhop and Lonzak and Gary out of the backfield, and there's just so many different guys you have to account for, and that makes a opposing defensive coordinator's job really hard. It's not just 1 or 2 guys, and Caden Kreinbrink's throwing it really well right now too. So
and there was 2 drops in that game. You had a drop early by Jackson Lonzak, and then a big drop by Baxter in the middle of the field. That was going to be a 3rd and 17 conversion. You're looking at a game of 11 of 12 for about $170 had we caught those 2 balls. It was raining, Jigs. I mean, you're going to have some drops.
That's right.
11 of 12, couple tutties, and about $180. That's as good as it gets on the quarterback rating.
Yeah, so you got to love where this Liberty Center offense is right now, playing very efficient. We didn't even really need the run game last week, and to be able to say, you know what, it's okay. We have the pass game, and there's been years where The pass game was just secondary.
Yeah.
It was something we had to do.
Complementary.
This
right.
is something we can do, and we can do it really well.
Well, you can't take the focus on how good the offensive line has been.
Ooh.
Generational offensive line. Again, I would say the 80 offensive line was extraordinary. This offensive line just really, when they're not dominating the run game, Jigs are giving Kate Kreinbrink all kinds of time to throw. And our receivers are wide open basically because Kate can stand back there. Very little pressure on Kate all year. And this offensive line is poised tonight to reinstitute this run game against a team that maybe isn't as big and as strong as we are up front. I see Liberty Center tonight winning that line of scrimmage again.
I would agree with that. I think you're going to see a conscious effort of getting back to the run game, establishing dominance on the offensive line, and then probably playing some pass after the run gets established. And you're right. This offensive line, I mean, they've been great all year. And when you can put a quarterback upright like Caden Kreinbrink with the arm that he has, and he can survey and check one, check two, check three.
Yes.
That is a recipe for a very good passing game, and that's what you're seeing. He's very rarely is he pressured. Very rarely. We saw a little bit of pressure against Archbold, and that's when you kind of saw some of them turnovers. And when they got that cleaned up, this offensive line is playing at a very high level.
Let's switch the conversation to the other extraordinary performance of senior Deegan Swigert. A one-man wrecking crew. I mean, he just basically shut Genoa down virtually single-handed. Now, granted, we had great play from our tackles, and Spangler played very well. Sawyer Bachman, who will not be with us tonight. Sawyer Bachman may be out the rest of the year with a hip injury. But obviously you're getting great play from Weimer. But talk about Deegan Swigert, what he did in the run game, what he did in the turnover game, what he did in the pass rush, all from that 0-1 technique and nose guard. Missing Dippy last week.
Yeah.
Cifuentes is out, and you're thinking, oh, man, what are we going to do? You're missing Cifuentes. Wait, we got an all-star studded performance from Deegan Swigert.
Yeah, you love to see that from your senior. Deegan's just been a great contributor to this team, really for 3 years. He's been special teams his sophomore year on up, and then been a great rotator on offense and defense. But to have a senior step up and to have that type of game, that is something you dream of as Deegan Swigert. And that is something that you need as a football team. When you have a frontline guy go down, you need somebody else to step up. This team's been doing that a lot. Deegan Swigert did it last week in a dominant way. Just his ability to win. He was just in the backfield, snap, and it was like, boom. He was just disrupting everything that Genoa's offense was trying to do. And that's as good of a D-tackle game that I've seen in a long time.
I don't see
7 tackles, 2 sacks, and just
in a fumble recovery. Wherever the ball was, Deegan Swigert.
It was impressive.
It was next level. I remember a nose guard back when I played, and we talked about him a little bit. Joel Zimmerman, just as bad dude, short, leverage, could bench press you, was faster than you, unblockable. That was Deegan Swigert last week. Special teams has been an unheralded part of what we do here. Last week, you get a big return by Isaiah Badenhop, and I think that's his second return for a touchdown.
I believe it is, yes.
You saw this very early when we were all saying, Ike's kind of young and got some speed, but going to have to grow into it. He's grown into a heck of a Ethan Gray, good returner, but Isaiah's kind of made that his signature position.
Yeah, he has.
Good defensive back, too, Jigs. Not saying that, but what he's doing on special teams is excellent.
And starting to mix in a little bit at receiver.
Yes,
he had a nice catch there last week, and he has the ability to go get loose after the catch.
Yeah,
he has a knack.
He
has a knack for vision.
Shaking that first half.
And he can really get going and quick. He's quick. There's fast and then there's quick. I think he's both. He can go one side, break a tackle, then he's flipping the field. I think both of his returns this year have been kind of flip fields.
Yes.
Boom, miss tackle, flip the field, get to the wall, and he's gone. And you can't say enough about scoring on special teams, how important that is when you get late in the playoffs, when you can steal one like that on special teams and actually score. So important.
Jigs, I think we've scored 115 points on special teams. We've given up 64. I think that's the numbers. I believe that's unofficially. Just think about that. We're giving up a little bit less than 3 points a game, and our special teams is providing that complementary football, not just with the return game, but we're doing such a good job on our coverage teams.
Yeah.
That's been almost a highlight reel of future stars, great young players and just really started to see that blossom into almost a defensive possession for us.
Well, you see players so hungry because there's so many sophomores and juniors and sometimes seniors on that because it's the first glimpse that they get to get on the field, right? And you've got a bunch of hungry players out there, and the kickoff team continues to pin people within the 20, sometimes in the within the 10-yard line. And when you ask a team to drive it 70, 80 yards on every single drive, that is a daunting task with the way that this defense is playing. So I think the field position, not only on our kickoffs, but our punts. Caden Kremprink's been a great punter all year, and the way that we cover, I mean, we are surplus in the yards on special teams every single game. I'd like to actually do the math and see. I bet it's sometimes hundreds of yards that we are plus versus like, okay, we're kicking off, they're getting to the 20, they kicked us, we get at the 40. That happens constantly, and that is such a underrated part of Liberty Center's game.
It helps the defense because you're making them drive 80 yards. You say that all the time, Jigs. Cade's gotten these guys punting them inside the 10. That's 90-plus yards you got to drive against a suffocating top end of the state defense in Division 5. So you're dead right. The special teams has been spectacular. I want to point out a lot of players to talk about on special teams, but I've liked Isaac Orth and Tatum Murdoch have been stars. Great tacklers. Tatum's a big-time hitter, and you're going to see a lot more of Tatum Murdoch as he grows into a fabulous starter next year as a junior. Let's talk about Indian Lake a little bit. Southwest Ohio, near Russellville, Lakeview, Russell's Point. You know, one thing I read about this community, they had a big tragedy, a big tornado in their community years back, and their community kind of rallied around that. And Liberty Center kind of had that too out in Swan Creek. Mm-hmm. That kind of galvanizes the community. And John Rapp's been there 5 years. He's 36 and 22, and I think that spirit of that community has gotten behind this football team. They've made 8 playoff appearances. It's a community that it has a lot of different small towns that contribute to the school. And we talked about you're a big fisherman.
Yes.
Okay, Indian Lake, you have fished that.
I have.
The saw guy fishing on Indian Lake is top notch, and you come back and say, listen, man, this is of course you want to get into the Bill Dance technical 6'10" depth deal with a lot of lily pads.
Give me the flipping stick and the frog, and let's go.
Bass. I said, hey, black, white crappie, bang. You want to do some fishing in Indian Lake?
I'm like, I got a hook, give me a worm.
Yeah.
He's talking about downriggers, and he's talking about
this guy,
Lawrence.
Al Linder, the Al Linder of Liberty Center. But no, I mean, this community has got a lot going for it, and this football team this is a lot of enthusiasm what they're experiencing. And in business, sometimes you don't know enough to not go out and upset a giant. I don't know that this is their first Final Four, Jig. So I mean, this is something they've not experienced. I don't think they care. I think they're thrilled to be here. Their community's here. So sometimes you don't know enough to be scared of Liberty Center.
Right. That's right.
You know, and the enthusiasm. Talk about the energy from a team that is rising and how they can create problems for Liberty Center.
Yeah, and if you look at their 2 losses, they were earlier in the season, and they've kind of went on this big run. And you're right. There is a lot of enthusiasm within the town, within the school. These players have never done this before, and they're really excited now. Vice versa, you look at this Liberty Center team, and it's just like it's a plug and play almost every single year. So you have 2 different kind of versions of teams here tonight. But this Indian Lake team, I've liked what I've seen on film. They got some offensive weapons. They got a pretty good defense. And they got some guys we're going to have to count for tonight, or they're going to give us some problems.
Let's talk about that. I think they're the player that really sticks out. There's 2 of them that stick out. They've got 4 players, I think, on offense. And probably more, but the quarterback, a 6'2", 215-pound junior, Brady Galladay. This guy has created almost 30 touchdowns and almost 3,300 yards of total offense. He thrown for 2,300 yards. I think he completes it at a 67% completion percentage. He rushes it for almost 700. Jigs, he's big, he's strong, he has a quick release. He's got a firm handle on this football team, a lot of confidence. He's rugged.
Yeah,
he
is.
Takes a hit.
He does.
He likes to run inside. He's not one of these scat quarterbacks. He is a physically gifted player that can throw it, that can run it. He can beat you in a lot of ways.
Yeah, it all starts with him, and you're going to see a lot of designed runs from him.
Yes.
Just right up the middle. You mentioned there's not a lot of outside runs. It's a power right up the middle, and he uses that 215-pound frame and really gets downhill. And then his quick passing, you mentioned, he's got a quick release. He really gets it out fast. You're not going to see a lot of holding in the pocket tonight, so it's going to be a 1-2, and the ball's probably going to be out. I would not expect to see 3-4 seconds that he's going to hold the ball quick out. You're going to see a lot of short routes and pretty efficient offense from what I've seen. And when you have short routes like that, we've talked about Genoa last week, like, man, get the ball out quick. Get it to some of your guys. When you have a pressuring defense like Liberty Center with their front seven, they can get to you so fast. Sometimes that's all you can do. Get the ball out quick, get it some athletes, and let them run. Because if you hold it for 3-4 seconds, that's not a good recipe.
We've talked about the struggle the teams have had running against Liberty Center, especially inside run. And if that's what you want to do, that's going to be very difficult most nights against Liberty's front three and those linebackers that are just absolute terrors. But this Brady Galladay has the ability to push piles, break tackles, and then the minute you've seen him even fake towards the line, the defense responds and reads to that, and then he's dumping balls and throwing balls back on screen. So, again, a good handle for the position. Yep. Knows where his targets are at. One of the best players he throws to. And you're going to talk about two receivers and Brady Reisinger and Colin Bandler, but this Noah Shirk. I watched him again today. He ain't that big. They say he's 5'11", $160. Look about 5'7", $150. 1,200 yards rushing, 19 touchdowns, but really good speed and leverage and outstanding in the open field. Last week against North Union, ran for $190 and 4 touchdowns. He's a playmaker. He's the guy that can get outside and make you miss. And he also kind of runs in a punishing style. He does not avoid contact. He does not run out of bounds. He turns a lot of short throws into big plays. Yeah,
I like the way they use him. They're going to get him on some quick pitches. So you'll see a quarterback kind of in the gun. He'll take a quick pitch, get it to Shirk, and he's going to get outside, and then he is shifty at that point. They're going to use him in the screen game a lot as well, short screen, middle screen, side screen, and he gets one block, and he can do some real damage. And you're right. You look at him, and you're like, wow, he's not that big of a guy, but he runs hard, and he can break tackles.
He's explosive.
And he's got some juice to him.
You know, one of the plays I've seen over and over again is this Brady Galladay throws a kind of a throwback screen. Noah Shirk catches that thing, and he then starts to maneuver himself down the field and finishes runs. Those are some big plays for them. Those throwback screens, those little swing passes, and Noah Shirk, a guy to watch tonight, number 5. He is a senior. Last year on their regional team, he's back for that. I really like their receiver. The player of the year in the Central Buckeye Conference, this Brady Reisinger. Is it Brody? I got Brody. I can't get that right. I've been doing that all week. But 6'2", $192. He's the player of the year, 81 catches for 1,100 yards and 14 touchdowns. It seems like every week, Jigs, we're seeing an alpha receiver that's a game breaker. Big touchdown guy, a big leverage guy, 50-50 ball. We talk about it all the time. They got their guy in Brody Reisinger.
Yeah, they get him open in a lot of different ways. They can run him deep. They can run him short, and he'll win 50-50 balls. And they like him in the screen game too, where they'll get a lineman down, they'll get a slot guy, get a block, kind of little throwback screen, and he kind of does the rest. And the numbers speak for his playmaking ability and his game-breaking ability. That's a guy we're going to have to keep an eye on. Not as much like McNone last week, who's kind of 50-50 guy. I would call this guy a little bit quicker, maybe a little bit more speed.
Crisp route runner.
He is. He's a good route runner. Maybe not going to win as many 50-50 balls. He is 6'2", has the ability to do that, but he's a good-looking receiver. And I also like Colin Bendler. You mentioned him quick. He's kind of in that H-back, kind of on, they stack him over the tight end or over the tackle. They'll run him kind of on the short little out routes. They can kind of give it a reverse to him at times, and he's a nice-looking receiver out of the backfield there as well.
They do a lot of trips to one side, single receiver on the other. They do a great job, very balanced offense. They'll throw it to the trips. They'll throw the deep ball on the isolation to Reisinger. This offense has got explosive plays in it and a quarterback that has full command. So I think this Indian Lake offense is one to respect.
Yeah, it is. Well, and you could see if Brady Galladay is able to go on a short pass on a first down and get 5 yards, at that point, you're second and manageable. The run game becomes a thing. I wonder if it'll be pass heavy first, try to get your 5 yards, then you got the run game. It's the second and long, third and long against Liberty Center where we just continue to dominate football teams. You got to be able to get yards on first down, second down and manageable. I think is going to be key for Indian Lake tonight.
One little thing I was catching today in some of the film review is our linebackers jump, and they're so aggressive. They have great readers, very disciplined. But you could see some play action, some little sleight of hand that this quarterback, because he's so much a run-heavy guy, that this kid, this Brady Galladay, I think at the end of the day could be a big-time threat, not only throwing the ball but in handling the football. I do think Indian Lake's defense is where they're weak. They're smaller. They're giving up 21 points a game.
All right, guys, we're going to take a break here for the national anthem, and we're about ready to get underway, and we'll be back right after this.
Ladies and gentlemen, we live in a great country with freedoms like no other. To honor America and in respect for all who have served this great country to defend these freedoms, we ask that you remain standing, remove your hats, and direct your attention to the flag as we honor America with the playing of our national anthem, the Star Spangled Banner.
All right, good evening, football fans. It's great to be back tonight. Liberty Center will be taking on the Lakers from
Lewistown.
Yeah, Lewistown. Yeah, Indian Lake. I know it by Indian Lake. We used to play softball tournaments there. But what a great night. I mean, we're in week number 5. Believe it or not, Tiger fans, we are back. Now we're on the verge. But you know what? The verge doesn't mean a ding-dong dilly until you win the verge, and then you go to state. But right now we're up against a team that has got some credentials. They started out 2-2. They had 2 losses and they got waxed pretty good, but one was a Division III, one was a Division IV, but they've taken care of business since then. Now, an oddity has nothing to do with the game, but my wife and family were in Decatur, Indiana, at a great place, the Back 40, for turkey dinner. And there was I had my LC cap on, and the guy said, "Hey, we play you tomorrow night." Some guy, retired guy, and this guy's telling how he said, "We've never had a great football for a long, long time. The last couple of years we've gotten better, and now this year, now we're here." And we talked for a few minutes, standing in line, and the guy says, "Yeah," and he said, "We know Liberty's got a great reputation for a football school, but everybody's loose. They're happy to be here." Just what you two guys alluded to, you and Scott,
Yes.
beforehand. So when what that promotes into the game, I'm not sure yet. They're footloose and fancy free, but we're well schooled and well generaled to take on the business of taking care of business.
They're playing with house money.
House money, I like that.
Yeah, it's certainly good to be back here playing on Thanksgiving again,
Yeah,
Spike.
yeah.
It's kind of been a tradition here the last few years. You got the Lions Thursday, which they didn't win. You got the
No.
Tigers here Friday night, and then the Buckeyes on Saturday. Boy, it's been great to continue to play here on Thanksgiving weekend for Liberty Center. And
absolutely.
it's just become almost the norm here of late.
Watching the kids, I was limited to how much practice I could actually watch, kind of being laid up a little, but they have such a great attitude. It's excited, it's exuberant, but it's very well controlled. And I think when you can channel those three things together, controlled mayhem, if you will,
Yes.
and the coaching staff has done a terrific job to keep these guys focused, pointed, and going in the right direction mentally. That is the biggest thing for the last month for the coaching staff, is to keep these guys intact.
Keep an eye on number 21 here, Brody Reisinger, back. He is one of their playmakers on offense. He's back deep. Max Walker set to kick this baby off.
Hey, you mentioned Crime Brink. I want to get this in. He punted this year. That was one less thing that Max Walker had
That's
to
right.
do.
You're
He
right.
does everything on this football team.
Here we go.
All right, set to kick. Max Walker back. Ball placed at the 40. Liberty Center will be kicking from left to right. Here we go. High end over end. That's going to come down at the 13-yard line. Return up the right side. Gets around the corner and turns, makes a spin, gets a good return out over the 30-yard line.
Pretty good return there for Reisinger. Kind of got outside of our coverage. Got it past the 30. That is pretty rare for this Liberty Center kickoff team.
Right,
To let them outside the 30.
We've done really well this year, keeping them pinched back in. It's the inside seams we've had concern for at times. This time they did get outside. All right, so they'll come out, show three wide receivers to this side, one to the far side with a single setback. Now handoff off that left side, and it goes nowhere, right into the teeth of the Tiger defense. Maybe a loss on the play of a yard.
Yeah, Jackson Lonzak closing that thing down from his outside linebacker position. Boy, that was a great read. He really squeezed that thing down. If he's not as fast on that, it looked like there's a little bit of a gain. But, man, Jackson Lonzak, he's been playing so good, offensive and defense. What a start there.
All right, the ball near the right hash mark. They're going to mark it as no gain.
Noah Shirk looked like he limped off there. The running back number 5, Spike. That's a big miss if he can't go.
All right, split formation. They've got 5 guys
Look at
out
this.
here. 3 of them as linemen. They're going to throw the home run ball way downfield. It's up, and it is caught down there inside the 35-yard line. That'll be a gain of about 35 yards. He was well guarded by Ethan Gray, but got the ball over the shoulder, and it landed, and he made a stupendous catch.
Yeah, that was a great throw. Brady Galladay right over the shoulder, and there's the playmaking ability of Brody Reisinger. He can rise up and go over, get one. Not bad coverage. Just went and made a better play there on offense.
All right, so now ball on the 33-yard line. 10:43, just the game just underway here in the first quarter. Quarterback out of the gun. Trip receivers. He's going to keep it. He'll head right into the line of scrimmage, and there is nothing there at all. Bingo, bango, bongo, baby, stopped.
We got Weimer and Gary Cruz on that play that time, and there's that design quarterback run. They're going to look to do that a lot. I don't know that how often they're going to continue to run it, though, because we're going right up the middle. Liberty Center's defense is not a place I'd want to be.
Yeah, you've got Deegan's Schweiger now in the middle. Cifuente's supposed to be back. I imagine they'll be working things in and out. Now double receiver set to either side. Out of the gun. Two-step drop. Now forced to roll right. He's in trouble. Has to lob it out there. Incomplete. Well overthrown. That was Kellen Weimer. Pow, baby, putting on the pressure.
Well, Kellen Weimer from his defensive end position, boy, he just come almost unblocked and was right in the face of Galladay that time. Great play by Kellen. He's able to throw it away and not take the sack, but love that pressure for Kellen Weimer.
3rd and 10, 9:45 in the first quarter. Trip receivers set out to this wide side. Now when they get up to the line of scrimmage quick, now they pull away, get the second signal from the sideline. Now they return.
Reisinger by himself.
Clock at 6. Back to throw, rolls to his left, can't find anybody. Now sprints up the middle. He's going to break that. Hit by Liberty Center down inside the 25-yard line, but that's close, and I believe they do pull up 11 yards on the play on the quarterback scramble up the middle, and they're going to come up with another first down. That'll be at Liberty's 22.
You know, Spike, that was a design pass, and that time Galladay pulled that thing down to run it. You don't see that a lot on film. A lot of times it's passing down. He's throwing it. That was a great decision that time. Pull that thing down. He saw the lane. Big gainer there from Indian Lake. They're driving.
Yeah. All right, Indian Lake with the ball on that 22.
If you notice that time, too, Galladay, Lonzak put a hit on him, but, boy, he is sturdy there from the quarterback position.
He's a stout young man. All right, 9:05 on the snap. Give off the left side. No, somebody jumped on the snap. Play blown dead before it's on the snap, so we're going to get add 5 yards to the yardage here for the Lakers.
Well, that's a big penalty there. 1st and 10, driving. You get a 5-yarder. It goes back to 1st and 15. We've seen some things from this Indian Lake offense, though. They got some players here. The quarterback's playing well, and certainly 21, Brody Reisinger is a good-looking player on the outside. Looks like we got 4-man front now. Only 2 linebackers.
Yeah, they tightened everything down. Now they're going to give it on a kind of a jet sweep reverse.
Big hole here.
Big hole, gets past one tackler, breaks another, and pounding down to the 15-yard line, and that's going to be close. 2nd down and about 2, I think.
Well, you're going to see a conscious effort to give Brody Reisinger, number 21, the football. That time a little end around, and he had open spaces. That was a nice first down play there. They continue to look to get him the ball.
All right, double receiver to either side, single setback.
Noah Shirk back in the game. Noah Shirk back in the game here from running back.
Tigers with single coverage on the 4 wideouts to either side. Dropping back to throw.
Screen.
Pass rush. Set up a
what
screen.
What a play.
Right
Kellen
there.
Weimer.
Wow. Weimer was there to snuff that thing out. That's going to be caught and complete, but that's for a loss of about 4 yards on the play.
Yeah.
Wow, what a reaction.
Yeah, well, they had a blitz on. They had 4 guys there in Galladay's face. He got it off. Kellen Weimer almost picked that thing off from the running back. He gobbled him up for the loss. Big play, Kellen Weimer.
All right. 3rd down and 6 from the 17-yard line. 7.5 minutes here in this first quarter.
Running some clock here for Indian Lake, Spike.
Yep, Indian Lake, the only team possessing the ball. So, empty backfield. Quarterback on a quick one out. That's tipped at the line of scrimmage. Was it Weimer
Deegan Schweiger.
Weimer? Wow.
Deegan Schweiger.
Schweiger got that. Schweiger all 6'9" of him. No, 5'9". I'm sorry.
Well, that is going to be a factor here tonight on these quick routes for the defensive linemen to get their hands up, get in those passing lanes. Great job there, Deegan Schweiger, picking up where he left off last week. They're going to go for a field goal here.
So from the 17-yard line, it'll be a 35-yard field goal, kick up on the way. It's
good.
It made it over the crossbar by inches. That ball never got above the uprights at the top. It was a low line drive, and it hung on for dear life. And at 7:14 of the first quarter, Indian Lake Lakers take a 3-0 lead.
Well, Spike, if you're Indian Lake, couldn't draw it up any better than that on their first drive. This is a team that's we've mentioned several times now, been here for the first time. And to be able to have a drive like that against this stout Liberty Center defense, great drive there, Indian Lake, and to be able to finish that thing off on a longer field goal that time. They do have a kicker, and he does kick it. I've seen him hit close to 40-yarders. What'd you say that was, Mark? Pickanu was his last name. Good-looking kicker, so good drive here for Indian Lake. They've come to play.
2 key plays. 35-yard bomb down the sideline, and they threaded a needle to get that in there for the catch. And then, of course, that scramble on third down needed 10, got 11. So, all right, Tigers have seen what they've got. Now it's Liberty Center's turn to take over. So, kicking off from right to left here. Low liner. That's going to hit it about the 15-yard line. It'll go out of bounds, and Liberty Center now will get field position a little further up the field with that ball going out of bounds around the 15.
Yeah, this is going to be a good start here for Liberty Center, starting at the 35. With that ball kind of going out of bounds there, and that's just I'm kind of surprised because they got a good kicker that can really pin you deep. Kind of surprised they weren't able to pin that thing down there a little bit more.
All right, so 1st and 10 for Liberty. 7:14 on the first quarter clock. They come out. It's going to be Cruz on the left, Mulder on the right, and an offset backfield with a wing left set. Give to Cruz, straight up the middle. Cruz rows over one. He breaks another one, and pounding through. He carries 2 tacklers all the way down inside the 40-yard line to the 37.
Oh, Gary Cruz, look out, big hole there. Looked like a one trap to the left side, and boy, there was a big hole. And you give that guy some open space. Look out, breaking tackles along the way, carrying a few dudes to finish that run off. Gary Cruz, what a start on offense.
Yeah, 28 yards on the gain. So now 1st and 10 at the 37-yard line of the Lakers. 6:40 left here in the first quarter. Tigers with the strong formation to the right. Drop back, throws underneath to Cruz. Cruz straight arms one, breaks another one, and pounds his way down to the 32-yard line. Pick up a 5.
Just a little swing pass that time to Gary. Give him the ball in space. Was able to break a tackle. Get a nice 6 yards there on first down. I like that plays. We talked about the short passing game. You don't got to throw it down the field. Give it to your playmakers in space. Let them go.
All right, Sonnenberg spread out wide to the far side. Wing right package with Cruz on the right, Moeller on the left in the backfield. Now they're going to shift out of there. Barrett is now the wing on the far side. Here's the give to Moeller on a power following Walker. Breaks that.
Ooh.
Trips. Bangs forward for 3 tough yards. Walker took on the lead defender there, but help came along and held him to 3.
Thomas was just one tackle away there, and he was off to the races, I think. Somebody able to kind of get a hold of his shoe that time and trip him up. Going to bring up a 3rd and short.
All right, clock running at 5.5 minutes to go here in the first quarter. If you just joined us, the Lakers lead it 3-0. Now motion back this way. Straight drop. They're going to throw underneath the coverage to Gray. Gray trying to find a block. Slips past one. Spins off another tackle. And he's got one blocker left. He down to bangs away from the 5 down to the 3. And it's a big gain for Liberty Center. 26 yards, and the Tigers inside the 5-yard line. First down.
Boy, that was a great individual effort. Ethan Gray that time. He had the screen to the short side. He was able to, they got the first block. He had another safety coming up. They would make him miss. Broke another tackle and almost got that thing in the end zone. Great play, Ethan Gray.
And good downfield blocking once again. All right, 1st and goal on the 3 at the 5-minute mark of the first period. Now the Tigers shift out. They've got Old Crew spread out wide to the far side. Wing set, In motion, Gary. They're going to give straight up the middle of the Muller into the end zone, untouched. It's a Liberty Center Tiger touchdown.
Well, that was a big hole again that time. Thomas Muller, Spike, and looks like this run game is going to have some success. We thought that might be potentially a struggle for Indian Lake. Can they hold up against our run and this offensive line and these backs? And that was a great statement drive there at Liberty Center.
Now, this broadcast tonight's about me, but with these busted ribs, that was as loud as I can get.
Spike's playing injured tonight. He is
Is
playing.
Up, and it is good by Walker.
Everybody's got bumps and bruises this late in the season, Spike. You're just joining the football team, right?
Yeah, that's about right.
I got some Ben Gay. I brought some Ben Gay and some Friezo and all that other stuff.
And Ben Gay
and some wrap. We can wrap those ribs up, Spike.
That's right. Get him a cortisone shot. Get him.
Hey, I was on that tough stuff painkiller
yeah.
for about 5 days.
I bet.
And whoa, it's enough of that.
No thanks.
Time to back down.
More than normal, Spike?
Oh, yeah, believe me. Hey, I got to share this while we're waiting. I got to say this, only by the grace of God. I got lost coming down here. I got on some back streets, and I was lost. I went in one place to ask for directions, and that was that didn't work. And I kept running around. I finally said, God, I said, this street coming up here better be Market Street or I'm up a creek. Sure enough, it was, and I was safe.
Spike was just on time, too, by the way.
Yeah, I'm probably,
it is kind of tricky on those back roads. You get through Columbus Grove there, and
yeah. All right, enough of the tomfoolery. Let's get back to the real business. So, 4:46 to go. Liberty Center goes up 7-3. Here's the Walker kickoff. That's high and long. That'll come down at the 5-yard line. Return toward the right hash mark. Tries to cut upside, and Liberty Center's special teams came through like heroes there. Hold him inside the 20. Nowhere to go. They cut off all the seams, and that was that.
Yeah, that's more like it. Mason Smith, light coming up off the bottom of that one there. Inside the 20, Spike. That's where this kickoff team is used to stopping teams, and they're going to get it to 18 here. Great start there, kickoff team.
Yeah, Mason Smith now one of the starters. Unknown soldier, you might say. Now a little out too high. Pass was high. Intended receiver number 21. It was Sonnenberg, 22, that was on the defense. He wouldn't have got any more after the catch, but a little off target.
Well,
now, was there any pass rush?
Not really. Just kind of a little errant throw. Tips and overthrows are going to be something to watch in this game. Quick passing game. If you're not right on target, a little tip that time, and we almost had a pick.
Okay. All right, little tighter formation. Receivers staying inside. Little lob over the top, and that's going to be incomplete. Weimer had some pass rush. Good coverage out here by Lonazak and Gray.
Looked like a little sprint out that time to Brody Reisinger, and not a lot of room there. Ethan Gray all over it. A little bit of pressure on the quarterback that time. Going to bring up 3rd and long. This Liberty Center defense looks like they're getting settled in a little bit.
All right, so 3rd down and 10 now. 4.5 to go here in the first period. Tigers lead it 7-3. Out of the gun. Straight drop. Has time. Throws out there. And Gray with an excellent athletic move. Bingo! Knocked it away. It would have been caught up around the 27-yard line. Gray knocked it away. That takes away any opportunities. It's 4th and 10 now for the Lakers.
Well, that is outstanding corner play. Ethan Gray, he got a 3rd and 10. They're looking stick routes to get that first down. He was all over it, jumped that thing, was able to knock it down. That is fantastic corner play.
All right, standing back at his 5, gets the punt off. It's a wobbler. Liberty Center takes it there at the 45-yard line. Looking for a block is Badenhop, and got it to the 50. Got a 5-yard return. That was good coverage by Indian Lake, actually, because he had a blocker, but they snuffled through that.
He was.
We are watching the Wheelersburg-Cardinal Mooney game. Wheelersburg's up 3-0 already.
Yeah, that's going to be a war in that game. That is going to be a war.
All right, so Liberty Center right at midfield. 4:17 to go here, first period. They lead it 7-3 on a long drive. 65-yard touchdown drive. Now motion this way. They're going to give it to jet sweep.
Baxter.
Off to Baxter Barrett. He'll pound it down inside the 45 to the 44. Pick up a 6.
Well, that inside reverse has been such a nice play here, really, these last 5 games, and Baxter's been running it really well. Nice initial block that time, and able to pick up some good yards. Looks like we might have Lonzak out of the game here, Spike. Mason Smith at tight end.
Yeah, Mason Smith, great all-purpose player. So he's spread wide out over here, double wide out to the far side, out of the gun. He waits, gives it off to Cruz on
big
the
hole.
Cruz right up the middle. He's
Stiff arm, get off.
He breaks one other and pounds his way down to the 18-yard line.
That is a violent runner. Man, I'll tell you, that was a big initial hole. Great initial block by the offensive line, and Gary with a big stiff arm on the safety corner able to just get him down, or he would have been in the end zone.
Yeah, he was back in shotgun. He had a guy to either side, and it was kind of a split-second delay.
It was. Slow developing play. It was.
And it busted there for 27 yards. 1st and 10 on the 18. They're going to give it to Moeller. Pounds right up the middle. Moeller runs right into a defender there. He'll get a couple on the play. It'll bring up 2nd down and 8. 3 minutes left here in the first period. Tigers in the red zone.
Well, that one didn't pop that time, Spike, but Clapp and Spangler down the field blocking. They had the touchdown blocks if Thomas was able to get there, but they kind of got him right at the line. Looks like Lonzak back in here. Looks like he might have got that ankle taped up, nursing a little ankle.
All right, so the Tigers now at the 14-yard line. Cruz on the right. No, now drops
Thomas,
back. Play action.
open.
Got a wide open Moeller. Catches it. The 2, the 1. He's into the end zone. It's another Liberty Center Tiger touchdown. They bid on the play action, and Moeller wide open out there in the flats, and he's into the end zone. Liberty on top, 13-3 now.
That was such a good design. They call that the power pass. You fake Garrison Cruz. Thomas Moeller is normally your lead blocker, and Thomas just goes right out into the flat. I think the tight end took the corner. He was wide open. Touchdown, Liberty Center.
All right, Kruger to snap. Crime Brink to hold. Walker on the way, delivers a boomer, and it is good again. 2.5 minutes left here in the first period, and the Tigers have taken on a 14-3 lead.
That was great composure that time, Caden Crimebrink. You got a guy wide open sometimes, Spike. You throw it over his head or you throw it into the dirt. It's like, oh, my, he's so open. But good composure that time to put it right on Thomas for an easy touchdown.
Now, is it legal? I mean, is it kosher to send a guy in through the line to block, supposedly, but he's not blocking at all? Isn't that kind of cheating?
Yeah, well, that was a great fake. And that's what that power, we used to run the power pass a lot when I played. You just fake that fullback, you get everybody coming up, and then that back or that tight end gets right in behind the corner or safety, and that time looks like the corner went with the tight end. That thing was wide open.
Yeah, Cruz doesn't even have to touch the ball to be valuable because
that's right.
He's going to draw a lot of attention.
Cardinal Mooney just scored 7-3 over Wheelersburg.
Right.
Oh,
what's the
Coldwater 3, Hopewell Loudon 0.
St. Henry?
Central Catholic no score in their game. St. Henry 6, Columbus Grove 3.
All right,
Walker set. Approaches and hits a line drive. That'll come all the way back to the 3-yard line. Tries to find the seam. Nothing there. The Tigers have him hemmed in. Finally goes to the dirt at the 14-yard line. The Tigers had him hemmed in, and there was I'm not sure if it was Light or who it was.
Yes.
They were ready to throw the haymaker, but he just went right on down like a sack of potatoes.
Yeah, great pursuit there by Braxton Light. Reisinger almost got to the outside. He's really got a burst. He really has a burst to that outside, but Light able to trip him up enough. And once again, Spike, within the 15 or the 14-yard line, you're asking your team to drive this thing the length of the football field. That is a tough ask for an offense.
Right. Now, 2.5 minutes to go. 1st and 10 at their own 14-yard line. They've got an empty backfield. Motion this way. They're going to fake
Cruz.
it. He's going to keep it, and he goes nowhere. Thought by Gary Cruz for a 2-yard loss. Blasting through there. Coach, I didn't pick it up. Was that actually a run blitz, or was it just he read it that fast?
It kind of looked like it was a run blitz. Look, it was an RPO that time. He had Noah Shirk in motion. He faked that, and Gary was on top of Galladay before he could do anything for a big loss.
All right, Tigers now shift around. They set up double wideouts to either side. Single setback. Back to throw. Now scrambles. Not
Look
much
at that.
there. He's grabbed
Spangler.
and not going to get away. He was grabbed from behind by one of the big boys.
Hunter Spangler that time, Spike. We talk about the ability to rush three. What that means is there's three down linemen, and they're not bringing anybody else, and they're getting home and getting pressure against a five-man line.
Yeah.
And Hunter Spangler won that time for another sack.
Yeah, he actually had to circle the block and come from behind to grab him.
Yep.
Excellent quickness.
Cifuentes.
Cifuentes is in there again. Good deal. All right. Now rolling right, has stopped, in pressure. Ooh. Now gets away from that, turns it up, cuts it there, breaks past one tackler. Finally brought down by Walker after a 13-yard gain. That's enough to move the sticks.
Boy, we got good pressure again on Galladay. He was able to slip out the backside that time, and he's been able to create some plays with his legs on these breakdown plays. That's been their best offense so far, and that was a good play by Brady Galladay to slip a tackle and kind of get to that outside, and
he may be one
get
of
a first
the
down.
best quarterbacks we've seen this year. All right, slow handoff going around the right side. Smith forces him to belly out, and he has to change directions. Now cuts it up, and we'll get positive
fumble.
Foul on the ground.
I think
we'll
we're
wait
on
and
it.
See. Boy, the Tigers made him change directions 100%.
Ooh. Boy, he got stuck.
Wow.
That was a big hit. He put it on the deck, was able to get back on it. That shows you some of the athleticism from Noah Shirk. Spike, he goes one way, completely reverses the field. He's done that a lot on film, and he's got some wheels to be able to do it. He's getting up a little gimpy that time. He's not a big guy, but he is tough.
And the clock is running out, so after one period of play, Liberty Center with a drive from their own 35, one from midfield. They took it down court, put it through the hole. They lead it 14-3.
All right, let's take a break and hear from our sponsors.
This 2025-26 Tiger Sports Live broadcast is brought to you by KK Collision, Meyer Badenhop Insurance, Affinity IT Group, Pisanello's Pizza, Ohio Asphalt Paving, Swanton Welding, Davis Farm Services, Holgate Metal Fab, Gerald Grain, Hill Asphalt, Mason Hill Construction, Engler Auctions, Dental Health Associates of White House in Sylvania, and Fessenden Hardware of Swanton.
All right, we're back here for the start of the second quarter from Lima Spartan Stadium, the Liberty Center Tigers 14, the Lewistown Indian Lakers 3. Guys, I tell you what, the stands are packed on the Liberty side. It's amazing. You know,
it is.
Talk about Liberty. We got here at about 5 after 5, and there was a line around the corner.
Wow.
I don't know what these Liberty people do. You know what else was kind of cool, though, too? We come through Columbus, or through down 109, through Columbus Grove.
Oh, yeah.
And they were all headed out of town, too. Welcome to small-town football.
All right. Play action. They lob it over the top. That breaks one tackle. Picks up about 4 on the play. They just simply lobbed it up over the top. The Tigers had it read well, but the little shift of the hips slipped one tackle, picks up about 3. That's going to make it 3rd down and 3 now. Here at the start of the second period, the ball rests on the 30.
Indian Lake going quick here on 3rd down, Spike.
37-yard line. They've tightened up the formation. They've got 2 wideouts to the short side of the field. The far side, only 1 over here. We've seen as many as 5. Now motion back to the football. Now rolling this way, has time. Now is under pressure. He's hit.
Oh,
He's
yeah.
dropped. Sacarino!
Well, I think that was Navarre and Lonzak back in there, Spike. Great initial pressure. Galladay, nothing down the field. He kind of looked back door again. He was looking to kind of sneak out. Boy, Navarre all over that, closed that thing down, and Lonzak was able to corral him in. Big sack on
And
third
you
down.
can give credit to the defensive backs. You could almost call that
That's right.
a sack by the secondary in a manner of speaking, because he had no time, or had time but nobody to throw to. Short wobbler, that's going to hit at the 35-yard line, and Liberty Center has to let it take a few bounces. It came up a little short of in what Liberty Center has of course concluded. And so Indian Lake now will have give the ball to Liberty on about their own 20-yard line.
Well, another big stop that time for Liberty Center. They got the first down on the quarterback scramble, able to buckle down, then and get three next plays, get a punt, get your offense back on the field. And Indian Lake has not had an answer for the run game so far, Spike. They're going to have to add some bodies in the box, I think, to handle this.
All right, 10-20 in the second quarter clock. Liberty Center with the ball at their own 20-yard line. Double wing package. Now motion. Cruz. He'll take the jet sweep handoff. Runs right into a couple tacklers. Breaks through them. Spins away. And dives forward for a yard. That was about 15 yards worth of running, taking on about 7 bodies. Gains 2 on the play.
Gary about flipped the field like Noah Shirk's been doing. He almost flipped the field that time for a big run. Able to get him corralled after a couple-yard gain. Indian Lake got a 4-man front here, Spike. I think they're going to have to add a body on the line and maybe another linebacker to handle this run game.
All right, 2nd down and 8 from the 22. Cruz in motion. They fake it
Inside
right
reverse.
back to Barrett, but Indian
Face
Lake
mask.
waiting for that,
They
and
got
that's
it.
going to be no gain on the play. However, we've got a flag. One of them stinking, rotten, no good yellow flags, I think, is going to be in favor of the Liberty Center Tigers.
Well,
You say that was a face
Yeah,
mask?
they got him on the face mask that time. That was that inside reverse again. Indian Lake was all over it. They had a couple guys kind of waiting on Baxter
They were waiting.
in the hole. Kind of got bailed out with the face mask that time. Give Liberty 15 and first down.
All right. 9:39 in the second quarter clock. Liberty Center leads at 14-3 on 2 successful drives. Now they've got the ball, and they've got an empty backfield. Wing back over here, double wide out to either side. Kreinbrink now, motion, coming back to the ball. They pitch it to Cruz. Cruz tries to turn it up. Great upfield blocking. Blips past one. Pounds his way forward, all the way down to the 40-yard line.
Yeah, they get Gary on the jet sweep that time. And, boy, that is such a beautiful run. Kellen Weimer, big block there. Couple big blocks down the field, and Gary does the rest.
Boy, it was like watching 6 destroyers back in the Navy days. 6 destroyers and opening the way, pounding out blocks for Gary the battleship. All right, now here we go. Liberty Center, 1st and 10 at the 40, 30-yard gain by Cruz. Giving it straight up the middle of Moeller. Moeller pounds through one tackle, bangs his way forward down to the 31. That'll be a gain of about 7.
So it looked like that time put Garrison in motion, Spike from the wing position. Thomas on a straight dive, it looked like, for 9 yards. I think I'll take a dive for 9 at any time.
Anytime,
this
any
offensive
place.
line starting to impose its will.
So it was a gain of 9, 2nd down and 1. The ball at the 31-yard line of the Lakers. Tigers will wide out to either side. Kreinbrink out of the gun. He'll roll away from it. Here's pressure. He lobs it out there. Got a man out there. Caught by Gary Cruz down there at the 15-yard line. A gain of 16 yards on the play. Cruz went up with great hands and pulled it in.
I'm going to tell you, Caden Kreinbrink is throwing the ball at a high level right now. He kind of, little fake there, kind of roll out to the strong side on the run, put it on the money to Gary. Gary kind of extended those arms for a hands catch. That was a great-looking play there, design and execution.
8 minutes now, 14-3 Liberty Center. They've got the ball on the 15-yard line of the Lakers. They're going to give it on a sweep, jet sweep to Gary. Gary breaks one, still going, still pounding, and now, nope, knocked down early. That's my bad. I was following the downfield blockers. They're smacking people.
Max Walker's in the end zone driving a guy 15 yards down the field. I think it kind of looked like that was Gary still running that time.
All right, so gain of 2, second down and 8. The ball in the red zone on the 13-yard line of Indian Lake. Now the Tigers shift. They'll set up now double wing package. Wide out over here in Gray. Straight drop. Looks for Gray. Throws it lob over the top.
Oh,
Gray
what a catch! Unbelievable. Yes, he did.
Hang on to that? That's a Liberty Center Tiger touchdown. I don't believe it. What a catch. That's Sunday afternoon stuff. Da-da-da, da-da-da.
I'm telling you, Spike, he put the left hand up, one-handed that thing, brought it back down into the body, defender all over him. What a throw. What a catch by Ethan Gray. That's not his first time making a one-handed catch. He had one earlier in the season. That guy is acrobatic. Unbelievable catch and throw.
Liberty Center now, that's their third touchdown of the night. Now the extra point attempt on the way. Good snap, good hold. Kick is up, and it is good. 21-3. Liberty Center has scored on all 3 possessions here in this first half.
Man, we continue to talk about the amount of playmakers that Liberty Center has. And Ethan Gray, we probably don't talk about him enough because he doesn't get the ball all the time. But, man, I'm going to tell you right now, play that one back, folks at home, when you get a chance to watch that tonight. Left hand, snag that thing to bring it as he's falling on his back. Defender all over him.
Yeah,
that's one of the best catches I've seen.
I mean, they'll show those things over and over and over again on Saturdays and Sundays on TV. Wow. That was great.
You know, Ethan's not the tallest guy, so you throw a 50-50 ball up to him, a fade, and you're like, well, he's not a big leaper. He's not going to go jump over a guy, but his hands and his ability to catch the football is just kind of takes him to the next level.
Yep. He, I don't have the stats right in front of me, but approximately on 30 attempts to him this year, he's caught like 25 out of the 30. Now that is some darn good reception material.
Wow. I'm telling you right now, he's on my campaign train right now. That play alone, he's at the top of the list. Just keep it coming, Ethan Gray. Outstanding play.
All right, so the Tigers to kick off. 7 minutes left here in the first quarter. High end over end comes down at the 8-yard line. Return around to the far sideline. Hit, runs right into a couple of tackles.
Snuck
breaks one, though. Still going. And works his way up near the 28-yard line.
Good initial contact. Is able to break a couple tackles that time on the return and get it almost to the 30. You know, if you're Indian Lake, you've had a couple decent drives, Spike. You've found some success on a few plays. The quarterback scrambling has been somewhat of a problem for Liberty Center so far. So getting the ball to 21 has also worked. We'll see if they got drawn up this time. They need a drive. They need a drive here.
They have to get something put back together again, and it has not been on the ground unless the quarterback is scrambling. Now they'll give it right up the middle and slips through one on the quick hitter up across the 30 to the 31. Pick up a 4, we'll call it.
Max Walker, Thomas Moeller from a safety spot, able to corral him after a short game. That's probably their best run from the running back position there tonight on a gain of close to 5.
All right, 6.5 minutes to go here, period number 2. Liberty on top, 21-3. Here's the snap, drops back. Here's a blitz. No, gets away from one. Has to get rid of it. Throws it away to safety, out of bounds. But what pressure. They forced him out of the pocket, and then they got there late.
Yeah. Galladay getting up slow. He took a pretty big stick there. He's been limping around a little bit. You know, to show some of his strength, Lonzak had a wide open lane to him that time. He was free, unblocked. And Galladay was able to shake him off and get free.
Yeah.
We don't see that very often.
No.
Normally, Lonzak's got you in his sights. You're going down. Galladay's an
like
athletic.
A vice grip.
Galladay's an athletic player.
Yeah, he's a good ball player. All right, out of the gun. He's going to run a kind of a reverse,
Nothing
and that's going to be
doing.
hitting the backfield, and it's going to be a 3-yard loss. The Tigers don't bite on that. They stay with him on the end sweep, and he's knocked out of there for a couple-yard loss. It'll bring up 4th and 8.
Spike, I think they had a trick play that time. They had Reisinger taking the snap. They were going to pitch it to Galladay, and I think he was going to do a flea flicker. But Lonzak was all over that thing. And Reisinger couldn't even make the handoff. Great play there by Jackson Lonzak.
He read the play. I got you. Wow. All right, back in punt formation. 5.5 minutes.
Blocked.
Blocked. Rolling around loose, and Liberty Center will have it.
There goes Lonzak again.
Wow, Lonzak.
Unbelievable. I don't even know. Boy, he caught that one right in the midsection. Normally you get that with their hands, but he looked like he'd come unblocked. And that was a great effort that time, Jackson Lonzak. Here we go, Liberty Center, another outstanding special teams play on a short field. This is how this Liberty Center team just puts points up so quickly.
Yeah, and the punter was not back very deep, and Liberty Center collapsed that offensive line.
Indian Lake with a timeout. They got to regroup here, guys.
Yeah, that's
Again,
a tough one.
Watching the score, Cardinal Mooney and Wheelersburg in the second quarter, 9 minutes left. Cardinal Mooney 7, Wheelersburg 3. It's a battle, dude.
Wow.
It's a battle, guys.
Yeah, the special teams ability of this Liberty Center team.
Hey, I do have to say hello to our Canadian Mafia. They sent some of the Mafia-ettes, or Mafia-ette, it's not the lady version, brought us ketchup-flavored Lay's Canadian chips, and we got an authentic Canadian moose, buddy. The moose is loose tonight. Yeah, we want to say hi to Claire. She's at home. Kind of, she's on injured reserve like you, Spike. You know, people, I've gotten text messages. Where's Spike? He's not the same volume he is. He's got a rib thing going on.
Yeah,
and he's
it kind of hurts. He gets louder. It hurts more.
You know, when we're in week 15, you play hurt. You got to go, buddy.
Yeah, there you go. All right, Tigers with a double wing set with a single setback. Now they hesitate, look to the sideline.
Clock wasn't set. 25-second clock wasn't set.
So the officials stopped the clock. Now they start it again. The play clock, anyway. All right. Under center is Kreinbrink. Kreinbrink hands off right up to Moeller. Moeller cuts to the outside, back across the green to the inside, and picks up about 9 on the play. Wow, what a run.
Yeah, that was a good initial hole that time. And Thomas with the great vision, great cutback. We'll take 9 on first down. You know, Indian Lake, they just don't have an answer for this run game so far. We thought that'd be a problem, and it is a problem. It is a problem.
Wow, it is a first down, so a gain of 10 on the play. So 5 minutes left here in the second quarter, 21-3 Liberty, and they're driving again with the ball on the 13-yard line. Kreinbrink under center. Now motion this way. They're going to give it to the motion back.
Get outside, Baxter.
Cuts to the outside.
Get
puts on the speed. He's at the 5,
yeah,
the 3, the 2. Runs right over the top of the last tackler, and he's into the end zone. Yeah, baby cakes. Chalk another one.
Well, great job there by Baxter. You know, initially he was supposed to cut that thing inside. Nothing on the inside. Puts on the jets, gets outside, and Baxter smells the end zone.
Did you feel the stands move? Scott Barrett was down watching his son play, which I think is a great thing. He's jumping up and down here, buddy.
That was a great run.
And you called it. He turned on the jets when he got that, saw that opening to the outside. Another good snap, another good hold, and another good kick through by Walker. So the Kruger to Kreinbrink to Walker, good again, 28-3, and there's still 4:49 left here in this first half.
Yeah, and Baxter's been such a great sight here the last 4 or 5 weeks, Spike.
Yeah.
He's really kind of coming into his own from that wingback position. He's been blocking great all season long. He hasn't had a lot of touches, but he is making the most of his touches now and turning it into touchdowns and explosive plays like that.
Hey, some quick score updates. Again, Cardinal Mooney 7, Wheelersburg 3, Cuyahoga Valley Royals 6, Central Catholic 7, Coldwater 10-0 over Hopewell Loudon. St. Henry 13, Columbus Grove 3.
Right. St. Henry.
So St. Henry, that's your boys down there.
Rooting for Josh Whirling there at St. Henry. He's turned that program around, and
well, a lot of good football in Northwest Ohio, man. You're talking about a lot of teams in the
especially
Final
in the
Four
MAC down there.
I mean, we could have 4 of the 7 divisions out of Northwest Ohio playing for a state championship.
Yeah.
And should Liberty Center get there, guys, we will be there.
Right on the special teams kickoff. Badenhop,
Brady.
Yeah, Brady. Badenhop. Kick, bouncers around, finally scooped up there at the 12-yard line.
Ooh.
Not much there.
Oh,
The
Mason
Tigers
Smith.
enclose on him all over the place.
Right.
Picked up at the
Murdoch
12,
on the
stopped at the
initial
20.
hit.
Murdoch, unofficially, he is the third leading solo tackler on the team, and all coming from special teams.
And he doesn't
impressive.
start.
Yeah.
You know?
Making the most
Casey,
of your opportunities.
well, and that's what Casey has us. You get reps, you make them the best reps, buddy. Don't worry about how many reps. Just make them the best.
Yep. Well, he certainly filled the bill there.
Mason Smith on that one too. Well, he's been playing really well the last couple weeks.
All right, empty backfield. Quarterback's just going to keep it right up the middle, and he'll
he'll
pound forward for about 3. But boy, he paid the bill there.
Wow, he has been taking some hits, and Thomas Muller had kind of a finishing blow there late. That was a big stick. He is limping around, and I'm telling you, from that quarterback position, you just don't want to take those types of shots because you're expecting that guy to now turn around and throw the football. That's hard to do.
Yeah, I can only imagine. All right, back out of the gun. Motion away from the quarterback. Straight drop, 3. Looks under pressure, and he's going to be sacked again. Pow! Loss of 6 on the play. The Tigers simply engulfed that offensive line, blew him away, and jammed him down.
Gary Cruz that time looks like he kind of came on a linebacker blitz to bring 4, and he got home. There's just not a lot of time for Brady Galladay.
Wow.
I mean, if you're not going to have a quick passing game and get it out in 1, 2, 3, it's going to be a long night. You cannot hold the football against this Liberty Center defense.
Loss of 5. That makes it 3rd down and 11. 3.5 minutes to go in the first half. Back to throw. Got that slant route over the middle. Caught. Up across the 35-yard line. That's going to be good enough for about 20 yards and a Laker first down. That's a tough route to guard. That's that slant route.
It is. That was on the money too. Brady Galladay that time to Reisinger, and that's kind of their number 1 target. Great throw and catch first down.
All right. So the 1st and 10 at their own 37. 3 minutes 10 seconds left in the first half. Back to throw. Has to scramble and taken head on.
Ooh, big shot there.
Wow,
Swigert.
Walker took a hit from the quarterback. He got shoved back about 3 yards, didn't let go, got help, and they held him to a 4-yard gain.
Well, I'll say Brady Galladay is a competitor because he has taken some shots. He's delivering some shots, and he's still playing through it. But, man, that's a tough quarterback right there.
All right. 2nd down and 6. 2.5 to go here. Second quarter. Gets rid of it. That's caught upfield near the 50, and that's going to move the sticks. 10-yard gain. It'll be a 1st and 10 at the Tiger 49-yard line for Indian Lake.
Galladay, nice little throw that time to number 14. We've seen him on film as well. Gavin Henry, kind of a slot receiver, not a very big kid, but good catcher of the football and very elusive once he catches it. Another first down.
All right, double wide out to either side with a flanker. So we've got an empty backfield. Motion coming this way. Now we've got a quick flag. Somebody moved. In fact, was it 2 guys maybe moved at the same time?
Well, that's another penalty on first down for Indian Lake. You're going to get a 1st and 15. And
yeah, Scott always liked to talk about playing behind the chains or in front of the chains.
It's not where you want to be. 2 minutes here. Indian Lake, they really need to drive and a score to stay in this game.
All right. Whiteouts to this side. Back to throw. Waits. He's going to throw the home run ball, and that's way over everybody. The receiver cut the route off turned to the outside, and the ball was thrown like it was a fly route, so way overthrown, incomplete. That'll bring up second down.
Yeah, Ethan Gray all over that one. Thomas kind of had the help, safety help over the top. And Spike, 28-3 here, 2 minutes left. Liberty can get a stop. I wouldn't be surprised to go 2-minute.
Yeah.
Try to get a field goal here before the half.
Tigers with an extra defensive back in there. They're going to throw a little out route, caught down there inside the 45-yard line. That'll be a gain of about 8 on the play, and that'll bring up third down and about 4 to go. Ball resting at the 43 of Liberty Center. 1:45 and clock running. Single setback now. Quarterback drops. Looks, waits,
Max Walker.
and sacked again in the backfield. Loss of 6 yards. Saccharino.
Was that Spangler? I think that was Spangler that time. My apologies. Hunter Spangler with his second sack from the defensive end position. Boy, he's getting incredible pressure from that outside, and boy, he's having a heck of a game. Hunter Spangler.
Liberty Center takes a timeout here.
Well, I think that's what you're going to see. You got 1:30 here. You're going to have a 4th and 10. I'm guessing Indian Lake's going to go, and you guys still 2 timeouts. I think Liberty Center's going to try to go down and get some points here, and see if we can get a running clock in the second half.
Yeah, we'll get the ball the second half too.
That's right.
I believe.
That's
so.
right.
Hey, again, games we're following. Wheelersburg just scored, so 10-7.
Wow.
Wheelersburg over Cardinal Mooney, and it's coming down to about 3 minutes in the second quarter. So a battle in that one. We'll try to stay up on the other area games.
Yeah, Mooney's been a perennial football power, and as far as that goes, Wheelersburg, they've had their days in the sun as well.
Yeah, well, both of those teams, I've seen some film on both, and regardless of who it is, 2 great football teams that talent all over the place, speed and toughness.
They look like they're going to go for it here on 4th down.
You got about 4th and 10 here.
All right, they've got one wide out wide to either side with a slot back and a single protector. Now motion to the wide side, dropping back to throw. Looks, has a man over the middle. That's going to be caught, and that'll be a first down for Indian Lake down inside the 40-yard line.
Well, there's that slant again, Spike. That inside guy kind of clears out the safety, and he kind of runs that in. And against the cover 3, that's a tough guard that time. Safety's vacated. They've had some success on that route right there.
All right, 1:14 clock running. Quarterback drops back, looks, now has to scramble. He's going to be hit again.
Oh, he got out of it.
Got out of one, and they finally bring him down on a delayed effort sack all the way back to the 44.
Hunter Spangler got tackled from behind. Wow.
Hunter's going to get credit for the sack. Weimer initial pressure. I'm telling you, that Galladay is strong, man. I mean, you got to really bring your feet to get that guy to the ground. He kind of got out of the first initial sack, and Hunter cleaned him up. I think that's Hunter's 3rd sack of the night.
I think it is.
Boy, he is having a whale of a game so far.
Wow, we've got a timeout on the field.
Are you campaigning again?
Well,
the driver of the train here, dude?
We're putting check marks on here. I just mental notes on.
You get a Man of Steel. You get a Man of Steel. You know, I'm going to give the Man of Steel to Spike tonight.
Yeah, absolutely, you should.
Coming out of the dungeon.
Guy, broken ribs and all. He's just showing up.
Bad sense of direction.
Yeah, a good God was the only thing to save the day there. Believe you me,
hey, while we got a break, St. Henry 13, Columbus Grove 3, Cuyahoga 14, Central Catholic 7.
Wow.
Coldwater 10, Hopewell Loudon 0, and again Wheelersburg 10, Cardinal Mooney 7. 28-3 here in Spartan Stadium. The Liberty Center Tigers over the Indian Lake Lakers.
All right, 2nd down and 17. The ball back at Liberty Center's 43-yard line. 43 yards to score with 1:06. Tigers show a 3-man front. Drops back to throw. Has time. Throws that little dink screen
Great
pass
tackle
out there. And tackled right away, I believe, by Max Walker. Yep, Max closed the door on that, and that makes the clock continue to run. Very valuable.
A little dump off that time. Great job by Max to break down and make that tackle. Get him to the ground.
3rd down and 5 now, or 3rd down and 12, excuse me. Back to throw. Spangler with pressure. Throws over the middle. Caught on another slant. Works off a screen block and into the end zone. It's a
Indian Lake touchdown.
Indian Lake touchdown.
Well, Gavin Henry that time, Spike, kind of came on that slant again. Got a couple of our defenders crossed up.
Yeah.
Made another one miss, and he was off to the races. That's a big touchdown for Indian Lake there right before the half. Keep them in this football game.
And Liberty will get the ball at halftime.
Okay.
All right, they score with 34 seconds to go, and they're going to line up for the extra point kick. 28-9. Good snap, good hold, kick on the way. Great effort from Isaiah Badenhop flying through from that far defensive end side. Nearly got a hand on it, but good. So 28-10 with 34 seconds left in the half.
Okay, I believe that is the first touchdown scored in the playoffs on our first unit.
Wow, that could very well be.
Liberty Benton scored on after the 3rd quarter, 4th quarter.
Okay.
Genoa did not score. Oak Harbor did not score.
Okay. Well, Brady Galladay that time, man, that was another good throw.
Oh, yeah.
He's only a junior, this quarterback for Indian Lake. He's a good-looking player. I'm telling you, the way he runs it and the way he throws it, guy's got a bright future ahead of him. And
well, Indian Lake's got a great
man.
Yeah,
this team is competing.
The coach down there putting together a great program after some devastating circumstances in the community, and they're rallying around them. It's pretty cool.
All right, now Liberty Center with 34 seconds, and they work on that 4-minute offense, 2-minute offense all the time.
They work on a 34-second offense.
Yeah, you got 2 timeouts.
Have, yeah. All right, we'll see what we can get on the return. Here's the kick. High, long kick. That's going to go everybody's head and all the way through the end zone, out the other end. It'll come out to the 20.
Well, Jiggs, Liberty does have that 80-yard 0-1 trap.
Oh, that's right. We've seen it many times. Matt Orr most recently over at Bryan. I'll never forget that play right before the half.
Yeah.
Man, that was pretty crazy. But you're right. The playbook is still wide open because we have explosive plays from the run game and the pass game. So I would not
guarantee this Jackson Lonzak time.
Great place to showcase something.
And you got Badenhop wide or Gray.
All right, a wide out to either side, a wing to either side. Kreinbink dropping back, rolling right. In trouble and still on his feet, breaks a tackle, pounds through another one, picks up 9 on the play. But the clock stops now at 25 seconds left. Tigers use their second timeout.
Okay, looks like Casey will try to drive this thing down and put some points up.
And it's a long chore here for them to pull it off. But just the fact that they're running it in a game that means something.
Right. You never know.
Yeah, you might need this experience.
Well, Max Walker, he hit a 43-yarder last week. Capable leg. It's always nice to give your place kicker a chance at a long one because you just never know when you're really going to need it.
Yeah, what was that, a 45-yarder maybe?
I think it was it 43 last week?
43. Okay.
Max.
It would have been good from probably about 47.
Yeah, he's got one heck of a leg, and we know what he does on offense and defense.
All right, skilled position people. We've got Gray out there, number 2. Badenhop, number 7, as designated wideouts. You've got Lonzak lined up as a wideout on the far side with trip receivers over here.
You got Lonzak by yourself, short side. I'd fade him up.
Kreinbrink, straight drop, has time, throws it over the middle, and
Great
it's caught
throw.
up there by Lonzak across the 50 down to the 45. Liberty Center's going to come up and chuck the ball. They practice even that.
Spike it. Good.
All right, now the ball's at the 45-yard line. Lonzak downfield used his body to screen the defender and then pulled it in like a gargantuan.
Well, that's a deep slant that time, Spike. We don't see that play a lot, but he had single coverage at the top. I said fade him up. That's running deep, but, boy, that was just a deep kind of slant in, and what a great throw by Katie Kreinbrink. Put it right on the money. Good catch.
All right, 15 seconds
left. We're in business here. Still one
ball
timeout.
At the Lake Indian Lake 45-yard line. Lonzak spread out wide to the far side. Trip receivers over here. Single setback. Now Kreinbrink rolling to left to his strong side. Lofts it out there. Got a man out there. Gary goes up with one hand. It was too close to the sideline. Gary couldn't get enough on it to pull it in. It'll be incomplete. 10 seconds left here in this first half.
You probably got to play, and you got the timeout. So if you can get, what do you think here? Probably 15 yards. That would set up a 47.
Down to the 25 and make it a 42.
So I think
we got to aim for the 25-yard line. We need 20 yards.
And then you got to get a quick TO.
In 9.8. Kreinbrink back to throw. Looks, has to scramble.
Got to hold.
And he's going to be brought down from behind. He tried desperately to wait to find a receiver. None was there. And a flag on the play. And I believe you guys alluded to the point is probably against Liberty from where it was thrown.
Yeah, that'll probably do it. Probably just go to the half now with 2.8 seconds and getting moved back 10 yards on that holding call. Caden kind of got tackled awkwardly there. I was kind of holding my breath, hoping it wasn't an ankle or knee, but that kind of looked a little awkward, but he's okay.
Well, now here's something you put out there to showcase for next week's ball game.
Or just let you know what, Kreinbrink can chuck it 60.
Yeah.
Let's throw a 50-50 ball spike. I think they're yeah, okay.
Okay, the clock did run out. All right, well, at the end of the first half, the Liberty Center scores on 4 out of their 5 possessions. They lead it 28-10 over the Indian Lake Lakers.
All right, we'll be back after this halftime break.
Off the record, 11-16, it reached number 25 in the U.S. and Scorpions sing their way onto the U.S. charts for the first time. VH1 named this song the 18th greatest hard rock song of all time in 2009. Hold on to your seat as the band rocks you like a hurricane. Drum Major Carly Orbeck, is your band ready? Ladies and gentlemen, the Tiger Marching Band. That performance features our majorettes as they whirl and twirl, so keep your doctor on standby. Speaking of doctors, this hit was named after Dr. Max Jacobson's Secret Service nickname. Released in 1989, the hit peaked at number 1 on the Billboard 200 and spent a total of 109 weeks on the chart. It also helped Motley Crue spice the competition, winning the Best Hard Rock and Heavy Metal Album of the Year. He's the one you call Dr. Feelgood. Our next hit was released in 1986 and gave the band their first #1 hit and is ranked among the 500 greatest bands of all time by Rolling Stone. Bon Jovi sings about two kids facing life struggles. Tommy used to work on the docks and Gina works at the diner all day, and they are living on a prayer.
All right, we're back here. Lima Spartan Stadium, the Liberty Center Tigers lead the Lewistown Indian Lakers 28-10 here in Jigs. So let's talk about some stats in this first half.
For Indian Lake, in that first half, 9 of 16 in passing for 135 and a touchdown. Rushing, they had a 55 total yards for 184 total first half yardage, and kind of leading the way there, Brady Galladay from the quarterback position. You know, he had a pretty good first half there. No turnovers. That's the key. No turnovers. You can't give Liberty Center short fields because they turn it into points so often. No turnovers for Indian Lake. Got 10 points up on the board.
Well, they did have a fumble, but they recovered.
They did. That's right. Caden Kreinbrink for Liberty Center in the first half, 7 of 9 for 121 yards and 2 touchdowns. Receiving, Gray, 2 catches for 39 yards. A spectacular touchdown in the corner. Left hand, one-handed grab. Ethan Gray. Play it back. Outstanding play for Ethan Gray. Thomas Muller, 1 catch, 14 yards and a touchdown. Lonzak, 1 catch for 26 yards. Garrison Cruz, 3 catches for 42 yards. Rushing for Liberty Center, Thomas Muller, 6 carries for 29 yards. Garrison Cruz, 4 for 59. Muller with 1 touchdown. Cruz, 4 for 59 yards. Barrett, 2 for 19 and a touchdown. On defense for Liberty Center, Ethan Gray, 5 tackles. Max Walker with 8 tackles. Hunter Spangler with 4 tackles and a sack. I thought he had 2 or 3 sacks. Stats got him for 1. Cifuentes also with a sack. Weimer, 2 sacks. Lonzak with a sack. For that is a total of 5 sacks in that first half. Liberty Center getting really good pressure there late on Galladay, making it very uncomfortable for him. I'm honestly, Spike, kind of shocked Indian Lake didn't turn the football over.
Right.
For all the pressure
Yep.
that they were putting on the quarterback and some of those windows he
half.
was throwing in, I was kind of surprised by that.
Well, you know, we're seeing a very talented quarterback. He's big, husky, strong, but he's talented. He can move, he can maneuver. You know, this guy is the real deal. I think he's the most talented we've seen this year. Well, that may be arguable.
I don't
know.
Connor Barbara was.
Barbara had more speed,
but he wasn't as durable.
That's right.
I think maybe that's a good word for this quarterback. He's thick. He
throws
maneuverable.
He throws it better.
He throws a good ball. He can run the ball. He's tough to tackle. You don't square up on him, he's not going to go down.
No, he has really taken some licks tonight. He's limping around out there and still standing in the pocket, delivering throws. So I think a big point for Indian Lake is not turning the football over. That is the key. If you want to stay in the game against Liberty Center, you cannot turn the football over. You got to make them drive the football, extend drives, and you got to try to possess the football on offense to try to run some clock. Indian Lake has done that. They've had a couple good drives. You know, they got the field goal in that first drive, and then that drive right before the half, able to put that in for 7. And, Liberty Center obviously getting the ball here coming out of the second half first.
Now, Liberty has scored on every possession. Is that correct?
Not the last one there,
well,
right before the half.
Last.
Yeah.
At 43 seconds, I'm
but
not
yes,
really calling that.
There's been no punts. There's been no punts.
That's right.
In this run game for Liberty Center, I think it starts right there, and it's been pretty dominant so far in this game. Offensive line is really winning up front. There's big holes for every single back, and Caden Kreinbrink's been really efficient, 7 of 9 for 121, 2 touchdowns. You know, we saw how efficient he was last week, and he was nearly perfect. He hasn't been too bad tonight
8 of 11,
either.
145, and it could have been better.
7 of 9, and really some throws down the field. They had a nice throw down the field to Garrison Cruz on a crossing route. Had a slant to Jackson Lonzak. So I like the way this Liberty Center offense has been playing. I think a little bit maybe of a breakdown on that touchdown for Indian Lake and that secondary pretty good route there.
Well, it was a great route, and they also had another receiver who came across, and it was legal, but he had a good block too in that, with our defenders coming together, and he threw it was almost a screen block, and it was set up well. This is a good football team. Now 28-10, hey, fine, we're sitting good. Yeah, we are sitting good, but we got a half to play. One turnover in the wrong place, a breakaway run of 50 yards gets called back, and they break another big play, and they're right in the game.
That's
so
right.
We can never count the old story about counting your chickens.
Well, and Spike, I've worried a little bit about Liberty Center in playing four-quarter football games. Didn't play four quarters last week. Didn't really have to play four quarters against Liberty Benton or Oak Harbor. This goes four quarters, and the starters have to go in. I think that's probably a good thing for Liberty Center.
I agree.
Because we're going to have a four-quarter game.
Good point.
If we happen to get by this one, there will be a four-quarter game next week in Canton. I guarantee you that.
Yeah.
Because there's two good football teams that are vying for the state championship there in the other two regions, and whether it's Wheelersburg or Mooney, two very capable football teams and very talented football teams next week.
Yeah, we had the week off to start the playoffs, and then we've had 2 out of the 3 where, we had them well in hand early, and all 3 really, but yeah, this is right. This grabs the attention of the kids. This really gets them thinking. Now, this week has been good practice, but you could just see that this is just what the doctor ordered.
Yep.
A tightened up game slightly, and now Liberty Center. We'll see how we come out here in the second half. Yep, and we mentioned it earlier, but what a great crowd. Capacity.
You love it.
Filled up. This is something to look down below and see. And a good crowd from Indian Lake as far as that goes.
Do.
But all you fans from across the country, all over the place, a few of them hiding out with the Aborigines and the Canadians and the New Zealands and all these other England and
6,877 of yins all out there.
Love that.
I have to say yins.
Yins.
Yins because I'm from Pittsburgh area. Yins.
Yep, and it's all radio style, if you will. All right, so the Liberty Center Tigers will receive. Here's the opening kickoff, half number 2. Low line drive, bounces around, down in the corner. And it's finally picked up there by Old Crew. Old Crew makes a move on a kid. Now makes another spin cut. Gets away from 2 tacklers. Now cuts to the outside, and he turns a bounding ball return into one of 22 yards, and Liberty Center will get the ball out. Nothing spectacular, but we're on the 25-yard line as opposed to maybe the 10.
You're right, Spike. That started as trouble. That ball was all over the place. JT had a hard time kind of grabbing it. And once he did, he was dead to rights. 3 guys kind of had him hemmed in. He made a couple miss and got some really good yards back there. We almost had that ball inside the 15.
Yeah. All right, Ethan Gray spread out wide to this side over here. Now the Tigers do their shift. Baxter Barrett, now the wing back on this side. Here's a give straight ahead to Gary. Gary breaks through one. Straight the straight arm. Smith's past another.
Look out.
He's got a blocker there with Gray. Heading down the sideline at the 30, the 20. You can forget about this at the 3, 2, 1. Tiger touchdown.
Woo! Gary Cruz.
Wow.
Welcome to it in the second half. Straight dive play, 1 hole. And he was touched maybe a little, and then he got a stiff arm, and that guy gets some wide open spaces. He's like a Brahma bull in the pasture. Look out, you can't take him down.
Yeah, just a straight, good old-fashioned dive play from out of the 1934 playbook.
You want to talk about a statement coming out of the second half, Spike.
Wow. All right. Good snap, good hold by Crime Brink, kicked by Walker right down the heart of the plate. 35-10, Liberty Center opens this game. Man.
That was actually the play they wanted with 43 seconds left.
Yeah, there you go.
They just wanted to redo that.
That's right. Man, I'll tell you, it's a beautiful thing when you get a hole like that and Gary comes through untouched and you got safeties and corners on him. It's just a bad matchup with his ability to stiff arm and run through arm tackles. Ethan Gray with a great finishing block at the end there. You know, he kind of did the same thing. He got it in front of 21. He didn't want to clip him. He wanted to hit him on the side.
He airplane blocked him.
He airplaned him. You're right. Got right in the front and just basically said, you're not going to get him, and Gary didn't need a whole lot of help.
Well, and, you know, one of the things that I noticed in just trying to watch the play while I'm running the clock here is the speed. I mean, he had DBs chasing him.
Yeah.
And they're speedsters chasing him, and he outran them.
He is quite a player, Garrison Cruz.
5 carries for about 135 yards. What's that divide out to?
That's some pretty high math right there.
Oh, now they're going to do a little onside kick.
They
that
got
ball's
it.
rolling around.
Oh!
Still loose on the deck, pounding around. Divers everywhere. That ball kept bounding around. It was like, what do you call that? Muddle huddle like
yes,
thing?
it
Like a
was.
rugby scrum.
I don't know that I've seen Liberty do that. They kind of huddled, came right out of it. Great kick by Max. That ball got kicked again. Somebody almost got on it. Then there was a scrum. Oh, man.
Well, that caught me off guard. But what happens, I saw it in practice. It's like a muddle huddle. They're out milling around, and they haven't got to the line of scrimmage to kick off. Then they just charge a group of 11. Somebody kicks it, and then there they go.
Great design. Great design that time.
All right, good show. Good something to showcase. All right, so Indian Lake has the ball at their own 35-yard line. Back to throw. Slant over the middle. That worked in the first half. It works again. He's got running room and all the way down to the 40-yard line. That'll be a gain of about 22 yards.
Yes.
First and 10.
Spike Gavin Henry again, number 14 on that slant route. If you look at slants against the cover 3, you got your corners in the deep third on the outsides. You got your safety in the middle. A slant would be considered a beater to a cover 3, and they're getting some success on that route right there. That's another big one there, Indian Lake.
All right, Indian Lake for the first and 10 at Liberty's 39. Back to throw. Here comes the pressure. Now he breaks it straight up the middle, hit by Walker. It'll be a gain of about 5 on the play. Walker came back out of the pass route to make the tackle, but he had 5 open yards out of it. It nearly looked like a quarterback draw.
The quarterback's limping again.
Galladay, that was a good run again, but boy, you keep coming up and letting Max Walker stick you, and that's going to put some bruises on you, and he is not feeling well right now.
Max Walker, trust me, goes around with a big smile, but don't read that one. All right, now out of the gun. 2-step drop, and we've got a flag. Stops the play immediately. There must have been 2 men moving, and that must stop the play. I'm not sure that was the designation, but it'll cost them 5, so they'll get Liberty's defense will get that 5 yards back on the scramble.
Yes, Spike, that slant's been a good-looking play for Indian Lake. It's been there. They've hit that 3 times tonight and gotten good yardage on it. And
that's good. Well, Liberty Center needs to see that.
We'll see if they come back to it here.
All right, double wide out to either side. 2-step drop.
You got to get him again. He took off 14 again. That's 2 in a row.
Boy.
Is it the receiver that's moving early?
Yeah.
Okay. Boy, that's just killer.
What is that, 4 times tonight?
It is at least 4. Yeah, I mean, you're driving. You got 1st and 10, and you get – or is that 2 in a row?
That's 2 in a row.
Oh, it was 2nd and 5.
I bet he's done
and then
it.
2 in a row, so now it's 2nd 15, basically.
Yeah, but they've had a couple other of those same kind of penalty, at least 2 others.
Killer.
All right, so the end result, Indian Lake has the ball back at Liberty's 44. They need 15 yards on 2nd down. They'll throw a little swing pass out in the flats. That's not caught. Gray was coming on. Old Crew recovered. They were going to get coverage over there, but pass was too high.
Little swing pass that time to Noah Shirk, and he's pretty sure-handed, and that's normally a play he'll make. And he had a little bit of space. Ethan Gray was kind of fighting off the block that time. I think he probably would have made the tackle, but could have been some positive yards for Indian Lake.
All right, again, double wide out to either side. 9.5 minutes to go here in the 3rd quarter. Back to throw, under pressure. Now gets away, steps up in the pocket, fires it downfield.
What a catch.
And is that caught?
Wow.
Wow, that was blanket coverage on who's laying there, getting up.
Ethan Gray.
Ethan Gray. Gray can't protect it any better.
No,
that was outstanding.
That's great coverage that time. Brady Reisinger kind of boxed him out a little bit. It was almost like a deep slant again, or almost a post route spike.
Yeah.
And that play's been working here tonight, and what a throw Brady Galladay to put it on him. Ethan Gray all over his back, but boy, that was in a tight window.
35-yard gain. Now they've got the ball on Liberty Center's inside the 10-yard line. We're going to have it marked on, I think, around the 6 or 7. So first and goal there. Now they're going to give it off that left side. Not much running room there, nothing at all, and no gain, a loss on the play.
Got Walker underneath there, and I think Garrison Cruz as well. Not a lot of room up the middle on these run plays tonight, and you got those linebackers flowing. That is a tough place to live, is inside those guards.
All
Not
right.
a lot of space in there.
Loss of 2. That'll make a second goal now on the 8-yard line of the Tigers. Out of the gun with a single protector. He'll roll right. He's got time to throw.
Oh, he had
that pump fakes. Now dishes it.
Big hit there.
Can't get rid of it, and finally has to tuck it under. He'll get down to the 7, and a late
That
flag
flag
comes in.
Well, Max Walker again meeting Brady Galladay in the hole. Great form tackle that time. Max grabbed both legs, picked him up, dumped him. We're going to get a hold as well. We'll see if Liberty Center's defense can buckle up here and keep Indian Lake out of the end zone.
You know, Indian Lakes had several penalties. Liberty Center is
They have.
nearly penalty-free. I'm not sure.
I think you're right. I don't think they have a penalty
And
tonight.
sometimes that's the difference in a ball game.
Absolutely.
Is the execution.
Yeah, and they got to be Indian Lake off the check, but they got to be close to 35, 40 yards in penalties tonight.
Wow. Now it's second and goal, but the ball all the way back at the 18-yard line. Just under 8 minutes left here in the third quarter. 35-10 Liberty Center. Puts a man in motion to the wide side. Drops back to throw. Over the middle.
Great job
and
there.
That's tipped right at the line of scrimmage and
Dippy.
knocked down.
Was that the dipster?
Yep.
Yeah.
Wow.
El Toto.
So the dipster got pressure. He got the knockdown, and he hit the quarterback. That was quite a play from his nose tackle position to push that pocket.
That's what Dippy's all about. That guy is concrete, cement, and earthworks. That guy tightens up the whole middle, and it forces everybody to go
Yes,
around,
sir.
and that just sets it up for the whole squad.
Well, we're going to get a third and goal here, almost from the 18.
All right, 7:40 left in the third quarter. Out of the gun, has time, throws it, caught on a quick in-cut slant, hard slant in at the 10. That'll bring up fourth and goal from the 10-yard line.
Well, there goes that slant again. Brody Reisinger, they got that thing timed up pretty well. That's a nice pitch and catch again. Fourth and manageable here. 4th and 10, or basically 10 yards with a touchdown. See if Liberty Center get a stop.
Yep. Ball officially on the 9-yard line, so fourth and goal there.
Watch that quick slant again.
7 minutes left here in the third quarter, 35-10 Tigers.
Got to be.
Out of the gun. The snap.
Here
Drops
comes.
back
There it is.
one. Over the middle, slant again, and that time the Liberty Center Tigers had it defended.
Oh,
Caden
boy.
Sonnenberg came up from back, and he took that route away, and all of a sudden the quarterback
We're gonna get.
threw it away.
I think
I think
Max,
it's going to be offsetting.
All right, we got Max Walker and Kellen Weimer. Great pressure on the quarterback, made him rush that because he had the slant open. But then we got an off after the penalty flag here. I think they're going to offsetting 15-yarders. So technically, should be Liberty Center ball.
Now was that
no.
No.
After the play.
Oh, it's after the play.
After the play.
Did the rush change his throw?
It sure did.
I was looking upfield.
It sure did. I think Walker stuck him, and
Yep.
Weimer was there as well, but pressure on the quarterback, he couldn't really. He had to rush that thing.
Okay, so not really sure half the distance to the goal here.
Yeah, must have been.
So 35-10, 7 minutes left here, third quarter. Liberty Center get the ball back. That's a big stop. You know, Indian Lake was driving. They had some of those slants going. What a great stop there by Liberty.
Yeah, and it's good experience for Liberty Center to stop them in the clutch. A meaningful game, a meaningful time in the game. All right. Kreinbrink, hand off on a power sweep coming this way. Moeller goes over the top, carries one tackler, goes over two, pounds his way up across the 10 to the 12-yard line, gain of 7.
Well, great play that time on the trap, and Henry Fitzenreiter had the corner number 5 on skates 20 yards down the field trying to make that last block.
Spangler had somebody out about the 20-yard line.
This offensive line, man, they don't stop after their initial block. They're looking to get down the field and get their second block.
All right. Bachman a tackle on the far side.
Nope, that ain't Bachman. Bachman's out.
Or I mean Bachman, I mean Clapp. My bad. Give straight ahead on a dive, taking on the tackler, and I believe we muscled our way that last yard and picked up the first 10. Yeah, my point was that Clapp has stepped in and done a nice job tonight. Next man up, and we don't lose a thing.
Yeah, that dive's been a pretty effective play again tonight. Spike, really all season. Thomas Moeller runs that thing so well, and nice little first down run that time.
He's the king of execution.
Well, Liberty's just going to grind a drive out here. Wouldn't be a bad idea.
All right, Moeller on the far side. They give it straight ahead to Cruz. Cruz
great
jumps
cut there.
over Moeller.
Hurdled a guy.
I had it right.
Oh, man.
Look at the guy go.
Oh,
he drops
man.
over 2 tacklers, leaps over another one, straight arms another one, and pounds his way forward for 13 yards and a Tiger first down. That was wow. That was 12 yards of superhuman effort.
Yeah, he got hit at the line, broke the tackle, hurdled a guy, broke 2 or 3 more, carried a guy. Well, that's kind of what we're used to seeing from Garrison Cruz, just forceful runs, running people over.
Cruz averaging about 28 yards a carry tonight so far. All right, Tigers in a double wing set. Cruz in motion. Now they're getting a little inside reverse. That's to Barrett. Barrett will fleet wing his way forward for about 7 yards. Good job to read the play, cut up inside quickly, and take advantage of the hole.
And Barrett's made a couple of those good adjustments to that tonight.
Yeah, that hole's been kind of missing. Sometimes it's inside, sometimes it's outside. Good job by Baxter that time. Keep it inside.
All right. They're going to run a power sweep to
Give
the right side.
He gone.
Grunt. And Cruz kicks it to the outside. Right, grabbed there by 11, and it'll be a gain of about 25 yards down inside the 45-yard line of the Lakers.
I'm going to tell you, Reed Strayer, number 11 for Indian Lake, that's a great effort. Normally, Garrison gets a corner on the outside. He's stiff-arming them and going to the distance.
He paid the price for it.
Yeah, Reed was able to make that tackle. He is down. Hopefully he's okay. But
all right, well, we got an injury timeout. Let's bring you some scores real quick. We'll go through that. Wheelersburg 13, Cardinal Mooney 7, Cuyahoga Falls 14, Central Catholic 7, St. Henry now 16-10 over Columbus Grove, and Coldwater 18-6 over Hopewell Loudon. So there's our area scores and the scores that we're concerned about. And
for what it's worth, Columbus Grove starts the season, I think, with 3 losses.
Yeah, they lost to Patrick Henry.
Yep.
They lost to
Liberty
Benton. Yeah. So at least
and
2.
Hopewell Loudon.
Yeah, I think so.
Wow, what a murderer's row.
Yeah,
and Columbus Grove is got a rich tradition down there, Spike. So
Yeah.
So all right, they get the injured Laker off the field.
Okay, 4.5 minutes to go here, third quarter. Liberty Center driving. They've got a 35-10 lead, and they've got the ball on the 41-yard line of the Lakers. Double wing package with a single setback, wide out to this side in gray. Now motion this way. They're going to give it on a dive to Moeller. Moeller still pounding and driving, picking up the heels, jagging and jogging the hips, twisting and spins his way down for about another, they're going to call it a first down.
They gave it to
11.
Another great play. Thomas inside. I couldn't tell if that was a dive or a trap that time. He's kind of in that fullback position. Gary's getting a breather. This offensive line posing its will.
All right, Moeller on the right. I believe it's Orth on the left. Straight drop on play action. Has time, has to scramble out of there. Breaks a tackle, Kreinbrink. Breaks another one, spins forward, and he'll get down to the 27-yard line. Gain of 4 on a good quarterback physical maneuvering, you might say.
Continue to like Caden Kreinbrink, his decision-making that time. Didn't get the first read, second read not open. Had 3 or 4 guys kind of on him, broke a tackle, able to get 4 yards on that. That's a great decision from a quarterback that's not turning the football over right now. He's making great decisions, both passing and when he needs to tuck it and run it.
All right, Moeller on the left, Orth on the right in the backfield with a double wing package. Here's the pitch sweep coming up, cutting it up is Moeller. Moeller just past one and finally brought down from behind, down at the 15-yard line. Another chunk gain of 12 yards.
Yeah.
Tigers are chunking it tonight.
Ooh, that little quick pitch that time, and Thomas had a big hole, and boy, he hit it quick. This offensive line is just having its way right now.
Tigers come to the line of scrimmage quick, and it's going to be Kreinbrink on the keeper. That's a little showcase play for you.
Normally that's like a 3rd and 1 or a 4th and 1. Yeah. That was 1st and 10, and they went for the quarterback keep up the middle. Must have saw something up top. Or wait, or was that?
They never moved the stick.
Yeah, they haven't changed the down. They're saying first down here on the sticks.
Yeah, second.
There he goes. Okay.
All right, now give to Moeller. Moeller breaks one, slips past another one, and finally triple teamed and brought down inside the 10. That'll be a gain of 4 more. Liberty Center now looking at a 3rd and 3 with the ball on the 9-yard line. Now Gary Cruz returns to the lineup. Ethan Gray will check back in with the play. Checks in with Kreinbrink. Clock moving fast now. 1:45 left here in this 3rd quarter. Tigers with a double wing package, single setback, man in motion, jet sweep. Now,
good caught, Baxter.
Baxter
get in there.
Into the end zone. From 9 yards out, they ran that same jet sweep where he cuts it back up inside, and he weaved and bobbed and banged his way into the end zone. Tigers on top, 41-10.
Boy, that was great vision that time by Baxter. Looks like that thing was supposed to go outside a little bit. There was just a mass of humanity. Nothing doing. He got the eyes back inside. Spike made the cut, and he was able to smell the end zone, get in there, Baxter, for his second one tonight.
It stinks, but it's beautiful. All right, point after attempt. It's up, and it is good again, right down the heart of the plate, right down Main Street, and the Tigers up now 42-10 with a minute to go in period number 3.
Spike, I kind of like what I'm seeing from Baxter here the last few weeks, and he's got good vision as well, kind of like Thomas, where he's anticipating that cutback a lot of times. Well, he's got the eyes back in. That was a great read that time. Cut that thing back inside and smell the end zone. We have a running clock here at Lima Senior Stadium.
And I think that's something we've seen improvement with Baxter in the last 3-4 weeks. I think that is something that is really, it's coming about. He's really coming into his own.
You can see the confidence, right?
Yeah.
He gets more carries. He's have some success. You're starting to see a little bit more of a confident player. And boy, it's I like what I'm seeing from that. When you can get that type of production from your 3rd running back, that is outstanding.
Oh, yeah. Well, they faked that muddle huddle. They attacked the football and then stopped. Well, they showed it once. That'll be in the playbooks of all the coaches in the state now after that. All right, here's Walker. Approaches. Low line drive is going to be grabbed at the 10-yard line. Return around the far side. Has a blocker in front, but the Tigers close fast. They hold him within the 25-yard line where Indian Lake will take over. So the running clock now is going to wind down. Indian Lake may be able to get a play off.
Yeah, this thing's going to go quick from here on out.
Okay, out of the gun. Straight drop, has time, throws that little quick out, broken tackle, and he'll manage to get out of bounds. But the clock stops, third quarter is ended, and Indian Lake will have the ball when we return just up across the 30-yard line, 42-10 Liberty Center.
All right, once again, we want to hear from our sponsors. And folks, you know what? I know some of you are out there paying for this game, and God bless Spectrum and what they do. We'll never say anything bad about them, but you get our games for free, and it's because of these sponsors. So we appreciate them.
Yes, we
Thank
do.
them very much.
This 2025-26 Tiger Sports Live broadcast is brought to you by KK Collision, Meyer Badenhop Insurance, Affinity IT Group, Pisanello's Pizza, Ohio Asphalt Paving, Swanton Welding, Davis Farm Services, Holgate Metal Fab, Gerald Grain, Hill Asphalt, Mason Hill Construction, Engler Auctions, Dental Health Associates of White House in Sylvania, and Fessenden Hardware of Swanton.
Here, quarter number 4, Liberty Center 42, Indian Lake Lakers 10, and we are under a running clock, folks, so this quarter should go fairly quick.
All right, Indian Lake going from right to left on your so-called radio dial.
And you will see this after 10 p.m. tonight on our
Love it.
YouTube channel.
All right, empty backfield. Low snap, bends down, picks it up, got a man open over there across the 40-yard line. That'll be a gain of about 8, and a Laker first down up to the 42.
There's Reisinger again. It's a good-looking player, man. Only a junior. Well, that quarterback running or receiver combination is going to be pretty nasty next year for Indian Lake.
Oh, yeah, I wouldn't be surprised we'll see him again in the playoffs. All right, low snap, now rolling right. Tigers now with pressure.
Ooh,
gets
stuck.
rid of it, and it's just overthrown.
Wow. That quarterback is taking a beating. He is a
he-
tough kid.
Yeah,
I'll
Schweiger.
tell you
El
what.
Toto in there. Deegan
Schwager.
Schwager in there.
Navarre.
And
was
Navarre, number 56 in there. Boy, they had him whoppered.
It was a meeting at the quarterback for your 3 defensive linemen, and they
Yeah.
all got a little piece that time. And
Yeah,
man,
when
I'll tell you,
all three down linemen
Galladay an ice bath after this game. He has taken some shots.
He's a tough kid.
He has taken some shots.
All right, Mulder standing back at the 45 is the deep safety. Quarterback has the snap, drops the throw.
Great
Gets that
play
route
there,
out of
Isaac Orr.
And what a job. That's timing. That is perfection on the defense. Isaac Orth, as a sniper, came down and laid the lumber to that guy. Just as the ball hit his hands, it would have been a completion.
Well, and I think Indian Lake might have another injured player. I think number 5 tried to get in there for the block on the line. It looked like a blitz. And
Well, Reisinger's had so many of them hands catches tonight. That was a great job by Orth. Play through the hands from his sniper position. Great job.
Double wide out now to either side. Straight drop. In trouble.
Got him.
In trouble. Sacarino!
Spangler in there from his linebacker. Cifuentes underneath.
Yeah,
Schweigert
Cifuentes.
underneath.
wait, when
Dippy's getting loose. Look
when
out.
your 3 down linemen are constantly what did we say, Spike? Inviting the quarterback to Sunday school.
Yeah.
Well, the Dipster's starting to take
Dippy
over.
is pumped.
Yeah.
El Toro is turning it on.
The scoreboard has malfunctioned
I
here.
like Cole Spangler there as well coming in. I think that was his first rep from the linebacker position.
And
he got his nose in there on the quarterback, got a nice lick in.
All right, we've got the clock stopped while the referees confer about
yeah,
some,
that clock should stay
point.
running. And it didn't. I left mine running, so mine's right.
All right, back in punt formation from the 37. Gets off a wobbler. It's going to be grabbed there at the 30-yard line. Return straight ahead by Badenhot. Badenhot didn't back down. He just went ahead and took it right at the heart of the defense. Returned it for about 11 yards, and the Tigers will take over there.
And there's a Tiger.
Up at the 43, I believe.
That was a great job by Isaiah to catch it, get some good yards. But you always get the feeling he is one broken tackle away from taking that to the distance. That time he almost got that one too.
Okay, I have to say already, stop texting me. We will have live audio of the state championship game. I promise you. I promise.
Bringing it to the people.
All right. Max Perry in there at quarterback. They give it to Braxton Light, and Braxton Light picks and turns his way forward up to midfield. That's a gain of 8. Nifty little run by Light.
Now that's another.
Picked his feet up and kept churning.
And guess what I want for my birthday? A state championship trophy, buddy.
Like that.
Oh, yeah.
That will be my birthday. December 6th, we'll be there in Canton.
All right, Murdoch spread out wide to the far side. Tigers in the middle of the field, right at the 50-yard line. Here's the give on a power sweep to the outside.
Jackson, he's got some speed.
Yeah, Tyler Jackson breaks one.
Ooh, face mask.
And he'll be brought down at the 40.
They're going to get.
They got a late one, too.
They got a.
Late one on 21.
Yeah.
I think we got a hold.
I think we got a.
And then there's going to be a personal
inside.
Foul on Indian
Little
Lake.
frustration here. Hey, but give credit to Indian Lake. What a great year they had. They battled North Union twice. They beat them twice, and beat a team twice is tough.
Yeah.
And you know what? This offense showed me some things tonight from Indian Lake. I thought they would really struggle moving the football to to the tune of nothing.
They picked up the flag back. Oh no, they did. Okay.
So this offense is.
Okay.
Is prime. They got a lot of players back. This is a team you could see.
I'm sorry, you won't be able to see this till you watch the video, but there was 2 penalties, and they marked them both off.
Oh,
it was interesting.
That's rare.
He went 10 yards, and then he came back 10 yards.
Okay.
Nice.
So one was dead ball.
All right, so what happens? Liberty has a 1st and 10 at the Laker 45. Give off the right side, and the Lakers close fast. It'll be maybe a yard or 2 pickup.
Drew Silvas that time. Levi Howe in at quarterback.
What a great block. 51 for Liberty Center. Trey Flory. Okay, stay with us for the conclusion of the game. The Swanton Welding Man of Steel post-game show.
All right, give to the first back through. That's Jakeway. Jakeway breaks one and pounds forward for 11 yards. The Tigers move the chains again. Just a simple handoff right up the middle. He followed the blocking, turned it into a 1st and 10.
And Brody Jakeway, give that guy a little bit of seam. He knows what to do with it. Good-looking running back, the young sophomore.
Dakota Zabo checks into the lineup as a wideout. Tigers with a wing left set, dive play straight up the middle, but that time Indian Lake there met that, knocked it down for no gain. Clock running with 6 minutes to go with the running clock.
What an achievement. These seniors now will be in 3 straight state championship games.
Yep. Wow. Yeah, isn't that something?
And a regional final.
To make it to state finals 3 years
consecutive
in a row.
Years.
3 consecutive
I believe I read
years.
today they're the only NWOL team to ever do that.
Okay.
Tigers have a double wing package. Motion is Cole Spangler. He'll spin off one and twist and pound his way forward, backwards for about 3 more. Twisted sideways and kept driving those legs. So it's a 3rd and 6 for the Tigers. 5 minutes left in the game with a running clock. Adam Foster, who's seen a lot of action as a defensive back, now in there as a wideout to this side. Wing left package. Twin setbacks. Now play action, back to throw. Howe out there, and it's picked off, coming up the sideline. Howe out there, and throws out an arm. He was going to the ground. He had to dig in, leap back, got an arm out there, and brought him down on a long arm tackle.
Well, Reisinger, he was looking to go to that house on that. It's a great job by Howe to not give up on the play, stay in that and make that tackle, or he would have scored.
Boy, I tell you what, I think we're going to the finals.
I think you can take that thing to the, what do you say, Spike? Take that thing to the clerk?
No,
give your name to the clerk.
To the clerk, Spike.
Boom Boom was over here trying to cue him. Spike, do it.
I knew it
do
was
it.
clerk.
Give
I
your
knew it
name
was
to
something.
the clerk.
Here we go. We're going back, boys. We are going back.
That will be Saturday at 7:30
Under
p.m.
the lights. Let's do it. Let's do it.
All right, so Indian Lake with one last gasp. Back to throw. Pressure coming on. Fires it upfield, and it's going to be over the head of the receiver on the sideline route at the 40. Incomplete. Clock still running. 3 minutes and 30 seconds left.
Well,
That's all that separates Liberty Center from a
Let's
trip.
get some other quick scores. Hopewell Loudon now over Coldwater 20-18.
Wow.
Wheelersburg 16. Cardinal Mooney 7 late in the
Whoa.
fourth. St. Henry 13. Columbus Grove 10. And now Cuyahoga over Central Catholic 20-7 late.
Okay.
All right, back to throw again. He's going to throw the all for the marbles. And that's, let's see.
Adam Foster, great coverage
Yep,
that
Foster
time.
again. He's been a godsend this year, filling in when we've had injuries.
He does.
Still doing a good job.
Great job from that corner
And again,
position.
stay with us for the Swanton Welding post-game show. We'll have the Man of Steel. We'll have the stats. I want to get the Gary Cruz. A lot of people want to know what his all-purpose yards were. We'll get those, and Caden Crimebrink and all the other Liberty Center Tigers.
All right, 3rd and 10 from their own 45. Back to throw. Here comes pressure. Now slips, rolling out to the long side. Finds a man out there.
That's going to come
Caught
back.
at the
It
40.
doesn't matter. That's going to come back.
Okay, there's a flag behind the line of scrimmage.
Yeah. Barrett got tackled, I think.
Okay, the clock continues to run. Now down to 2:10. Liberty Center on top, 42-10.
Tell you what, though, hats off to the Indian Lake quarterback. Man, he took a beating today, stayed in there, tough kid. Man,
Yeah,
I tell you what, you're going to hear from these guys again next year.
well,
They were affected. Now they know what it's all about to
Yeah.
get into the big time. They'll
Well,
understand.
and wasn't it a cool story? We saw it on social media, their coach. This was his thing, coach and practice on Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
So, cool story.
Yep.
Cool story.
All right. Minute and a half left. Back to throw. Has time. Now has to throw it, dump it to the underneath guy. And the Tigers swarm on him. Great job to converge on the wide open receiver who was underneath the mess. And the Tigers hold him in.
Maybe a face mask there. I think.
Yeah,
Oh,
something.
we got
man.
another flag.
there.
Or a hold, one of the two. Nope, going to be a face mask. That'll give Indian personal foul.
Clock continues to relentlessly move and count down to the zeros. We're under a minute now.
Here we go.
And Indian Lake will have the ball down on Liberty Center's 43-yard line. They're going to have to hurry. They've got time for a couple plays with that clock running. No desperate move here, but they do line up and get the snap off with 40 seconds. Back to throw. He's going to go for all the marbles down there into coverage, and the Tigers had him surrounded. How down there?
Yeah. You know, I do like the fact that the Lakers have their first team in there. Let their seniors play it out. They've earned this.
Yep.
Yep.
Also on the coverage was Ty Jackson.
Yep.
20 seconds left. This will be the last play of the semifinals here in Division 5. Back to throw. Has time. Now has to roll left. Got pressure coming from behind. Makes him turn his ground. Now spins out of one. Unleashes it. All the way down to the end zone. Over his head. That's incomplete. Clock runs out. Liberty Center wins. Liberty Center wins. We're going to the state championship once again, folks. And this is going to be a sweet one to love. Wow.
Well, Liberty Center, Spike, held on here at Indian Lake. Pretty dominant performance from your offensive line. Big holes in the run game. Pass game very efficient with Crimebrink and company. And this defense continues to squeeze people down and limit the big plays, holding Indian Lake to 10 points here. And you are correct. We're going back to state championship, and you know this team has gotten there twice, and we have been close. We have been close twice, and boy, I tell you what, they're hungry.
Well,
and let's see if we can't get
one next week. It takes more
week.
has been their motto all year. All right, we're going to take a quick break here at Liberty Center with a big 42-10 win to head to the finals here from Lima Spartan Stadium. We're going to take a break and right back with our Swanton Welding post-game show and the Tiger Sports Live Man of Steel. So we'll be back right after this.
This 2025-26 Tiger Sports Live broadcast is brought to you by KK Collision, Meyer Badenhop Insurance, Affinity IT Group, Pisanello's Pizza, Ohio Asphalt Paving, Swanton Welding, Davis Farm Services, Holgate Metal Fab, Gerald Grain, Hill Asphalt, Mason Hill Construction, Engler Auctions, Dental Health Associates of White House in Sylvania, and Fessenden Hardware of Swanton.
All right, we're back here from Lima Spartan Stadium, Liberty Center, on to the state championship here in Division 5 as they take down the Lewistown Indian Lake Lakers 42-10 on a big night for the Liberty Center's defensive squad and the big men up front. Jigs, what do we got for stats?
Yeah, for Indian Lake rushing, they had 60 yards of rushing. Passing 228 yards for a total of 268 yards of offense. For Liberty Center, 7 of 9, Caden Kreinbrink, 121 yards for 2 touchdowns.
In the first half only.
Yes, that's right. He did not throw a ball in the second half. Ethan Gray, 2 catches for 31 yards and a touch. Thomas Muller, 1 for 14, a touchdown. Garrison Cruz, 4 for 42 and a touchdown. Rushing, Thomas Muller, 11 rushes, 66 yards, 1 touchdown. Garrison Cruz, 7 for 170.
What's the math on that?
And a touchdown.
Wow.
Baxter Barrett, 4 for 34, 2 touchdowns from that wing position. Liberty Center with 431 yards in a dominant offensive performance tonight. Liberty Center defensively, Ethan Gray, 7 tackles. Max Walker, 10 tackles. Garrison Cruz, 6 tackles and a sack. Also sacks, Monzak, 1. Spangler, 1. That's Cole Spangler. Navarre with 1 sack. Weimer, 2 sacks. Cifuentes, 2 sacks. And Hunter Spangler with 1 sack for a total of 9 sacks in this football game. Boy, I tell you, that front 7 was relentless on that quarterback here tonight, and this Liberty Center defense continues to bring the pressure on you.
Wow, what an effort. What an effort.
Okay, well, hey, just a quick update. Watching Wheelersburg 16, Cardinal Mooney 10. Wheelersburg has the ball with about 6 minutes left in that game. So we don't know who we'll be playing yet, but we'll be playing somebody. All right, guys, let's talk about, as part of our Swanton Welding post-game show, we award the Swanton Welding Man of Steel. And, you know, I get it Spike Whitman-ish. You get a Man of Steel.
Yeah,
and
man, oh, man.
And you know what? I'm being facetious, but I'm really not. Because you look at these games, there's 10 or 12 guys that you could pick out of a pile.
Yep.
So I'm going to throw out my 3.
Okay.
I'm going to throw out Ethan Gray. Great catch. Running routes.
7 tackles.
7 tackles.
Yep.
Basically shut down a very, very, very good Indian Lake passing game. I mean, they did get their yards, but I'll tell you what, it was very much a shut down, great defense.
Oh, yeah.
And to have that many tackles also. So I think Ethan Gray is going to be one of my candidates. My other one, I think Hunter Spangler. I know he had 1 registered sack, but I'll tell you what, that defensive line, the front 3, just howdy doody. What are you doing Sunday? I'd like you to take you to church.
Yeah.
And their quarterback, I mean, wow, what a tough kid. 9 sacks, and he was hit probably another 10 times.
Oh, yeah, at least.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm going to go with Hunter Spangler. I'm going to go with Ethan Gray. But I'll tell you what, we could give it to everybody. And you know what? If somebody wants to donate about $500 to the cause, I'll just give everybody a darn shirt and get it over with.
Well, I'll go next. I like Kellen Weimer's effort tonight. 2 sacks. He was pushing, the pocket from his defensive end position, and also, playing that left tackle spot. He is the anchor so often on a lot of those outside runs to the left side. He had a great night. Hunter Spangler, I mean, just pushing the pocket from that inside. I thought he had 2 or 3 sacks in the first half. We got him down for 1. He was relentless from his D-line position, and every snap starts with him on offense from that center position, and he dominates the line of scrimmage from that center position. I liked Ethan Gray. I mean, he's been making these acrobatic catches and been outstanding all year long from his corner spot. What a catch, one-handed grab to kind of go up. I think that was to go 28-3 at that point. Yep. That was a great catch, and he's been playing a great corner spot. The 21 he got loose a little bit tonight. He was a good player, sprinter, 6'2", we kind of held him under wraps. And man, I liked Ethan Gray's game tonight, and then Gary Cruz. I mean,
24 plus 24 yards a carry.
Yeah. Whoa. I mean, he had 212 yards total offense with a touchdown, and he just does it in so many different ways.
About Gary Cruz every week.
That's right. We could.
Spiker, who do you got?
Well, I like the Kellen Weimer and Spangler early in the game. They set a tone early on, and I think Indian Lake tried to play catch up the rest of the night. They had to go to the air, but Weimer's contributions early and Spangler in tandem. Spangler especially got credit for one sack, but he had another one in my book which should count as a sack. He did the outside pass rush, and the guy stepped up in the pocket, but Hunter was able to battle from behind so well. He overpowered his man, had enough quickness to catch the quarterback and nail him for a 1-yard gain. That's a sack in my book. So I liked Weimer and Spangler, and Gray, obviously another great game, and Gary. I mean, his middle name is Gary God Cruz. I mean, you could, like you said, give it to him every week. He's tough. So those are mine.
All right. Well, I think I'm gonna make the call tonight, and I think he's had a solid season. I think he's been that pillar of steel that we like, that holds a lot of things up, and I think tonight's Man of Steel goes to Ethan Gray.
Like it.
All right, sounds good.
All right, Spike, let's go home, pack it up,
Let's
baby.
go, baby.
We're headed to camp.
Let's go to
I tell
state.
you what, no matter how much it hurts, it feels good. We're going to the finals, state finals in Canton, Ohio, that beloved place. It's what a venue, what a ball game it's going to be. And Liberty Center, I'm telling you, this team has methodically and spiritually and intellectually, their guns are loaded. This team, I'm telling you, they are prepared to play. So anyway, with that note, it's Liberty Center coming on out on top in the state Final Four, 42-10 over Indian Lake, and the Tigers with that are moving on. So everybody, you can better believe it's good night in good Tiger sports.